Chapter 175. Ah, look who's that. Lu Ming, that's the young lord of the Lu clan, Lu Ming. Didn't they say that he was dead? So he's not dead. Something big is going to happen. As soon as Lu Ming walked into Firestorm City, the crowd looked at him in disgust. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that the people around him were looking at him strangely. Other than surprise, there was also a trace of pity. Lu Ming was puzzled, but he did not stop. He went straight to the Lu clan. After a while, he arrived at the gate of the Lu clan. Who's there? Stop right there. Ah? You're the young lord? Lu Ming. A burly man guarding the gate shouted. When he saw that it was Lu Ming, he cried out in surprise. The other burly men guarding the gate were also shocked. It's me. I'm not dead. Get out of the way, Lu Ming said. With that, he was about to walk in. However, the burly men guarding the gate pulled out their sabers and blocked in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you can't go in. Impudent, Lu Ming shouted. His frown deepened. The guards of the Lu clan actually called him by his name and pulled out their sabers to stop him. Something was wrong. Seeing that Lu Ming was angry, the burly men's faces turned pale. Obviously they were afraid. One of them gritted his teeth and said, Lu Ming, we're following orders. No one is allowed to go in. Following orders? Whose orders? Lu Ming scolded, but the bad feeling in his heart grew stronger. Young lord, go, don't come back. Suddenly, a white-haired old man rushed out from inside and shouted loudly. Uncle Chong, what's going on? Lu Ming shouted. The old man was an old servant of the Lu clan. He did not have much cultivation, but he had always been loyal to the Lu clan. Young lord, it's the Grand Elder. He's back and he's bringing a lot of experts with him. He wants to take over the Lu clan for himself. Several of the core elders were killed, and the other branches of the Lu clan have already submitted to the Grand Elder. He shouted at the count. What? Li Yunxiong. Lu Ming's heart shook violently. Where is my mother? How is my mother? Lu Ming immediately thought of Li Ping. Madam has been locked up in the courtyard of the main hall and has been interrogated by them for 2 days. This old servant doesn't know how the situation is. Young master, the great elder has brought many experts with him this time. You are no match for him. You should leave first. As long as you are alive, there is hope. Uncle Chong tried to persuade him, but worry was written all over his face. Boom, boom, boom. Uncle Chong's words were like bolts of lightning that exploded in Lu Ming's heart. In an instant, an indescribable cold killing intent was emitted from Lu Ming's body. Lu Yunxiong. Lu Ming whispered, his eyes extremely cold. At the same time, he was extremely afraid that something had happened to Li Ping. The burly gatekeepers and Uncle Chong shuddered, and a gust of cold air rushed to the top of their heads. Whoosh! Suddenly, a cold light shot out from behind the door. It was too sudden. Lu Ming was shocked, and it was too late for him to save Li Ping. A sword light pierced through Uncle Chong's back. Blood splattered everywhere, and Uncle Chong fell to the ground. Young lord, leave now. Leave now. Uncle Chong shouted and gradually stopped breathing. A young man in his 20s walked out from behind the door and said coldly, Old man, how dare you leak information? You're courting death. Then he looked at Lu Ming with a slightly surprised expression. Lu Ming, you're really lucky to be alive after falling into the Dongyi ruins. However, you shouldn't have come back. Since you're back, I'll send you on your way. Die. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression calmed down, but the murderous intent in his eyes was colder than 10,000-year-old ice. This young man had a green tree embroidered on his sleeve. Obviously, he was a young expert from the Duanmu family. What? You want to kill me? I know your combat strength is comparable to an ordinary 5th-level martial master, but I'm also a 5th-level martial master. Do you think I'm an ordinary 5th-level martial master? The young man from the Duanmu family sneered. Nonsense, die. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming unleashed his full strength. The powerful true qi, coupled with the power of fire, was like a volcano erupting. Boom. The long spear swept towards the young man from the Duanmu family. The young man from the Duanmu family's expression changed greatly, and he blocked with his sword. However, boom. Lu Ming's long spear collided with his long sword. He felt as though he had been hit by a volcano. His body flew backward like a cannonball, smashing through 2 walls consecutively before finally being embedded in the 3rd wall. How is this possible? His eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. One move, just one move, and all the bones in his body were broken, and he was embedded into the wall like a pile of mud. How could Lu Ming be so strong? He was a genius, and his combat strength was not something an ordinary 5th-level martial master could compare to. Yet he could not even block one move from Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the long spear and walked step by step towards the young man from the Duanmu family. The guards at the door were scared out of their wits and their bodies trembled. Lu Ming, don't kill me. My Duanmu family has a 9th level martial master expert here. If you kill me, your whole family will die and your mother will be miserable. The young man from the Duanmu family screamed in horror. Whoosh! The long spear in Lu Ming's hand turned into a spear light, and shot out, piercing through the young man's heart and nailing him to the wall. Lu Ming's body moved and he jumped over 2 walls. He pulled out the long spear and headed towards the Lu family's courtyard. The Lu family's courtyard was outside the Lu family's conference hall, and it occupied a large area. At this moment, there was an armchair at the entrance of the conference hall. An old man was sitting on it, resting with his eyes closed. There were more than 10 people around the old man, and one of them was Lu Yunxiong. He was staring coldly at the courtyard. In the courtyard, Li Ping and 4 other core elders of the Lu family stood together. They were surrounded by more than 30 burly men. These people were basically from the Duanmu family. However, there was an exception, and that was Ning Kong. Yes, Ning Feng's father, one of the chief elders of the Vermilion Bird family, Ning Kong. Li Ping, have you thought it through? Announce to the entire Lu family that you will pass the patriarch position to me, and then kneel in front of everyone and apologize to me, admitting that you have wronged me. Lu Yunxiong looked coldly at Li Ping and said, "Don't even think about it. In your dreams." Li Ping rejected immediately. "Don't even think about it? You're about to die and you're still holding on. I've starved you for 2 days and it seems like it's not enough. Then continue to starve and stand here. I'll see how long you can hold on." Lu Yunxiong said gloomily. Li Ping's face was pale and her body was trembling. She looked extremely weak. 2 days, it had been 2 days. She had been forced by Lu Yunxiong to stand in the courtyard without food or water, and she had to endure the scorching sun. Chapter 176. Lu Yunxiong, give up. "Even if I die, I won't let you have your way." Li Ping scolded. "Bitch, what's the point of holding on? Your husband is dead and now that little bastard Lu Ming is dead too. You dare to go against me? I want all of you dead." Lu Yunxiong scolded. "Nonsense. My son Lu Ming will never die." Li Ping shouted. "He won't die? Don't deceive yourself. He can't be any more dead. You have no one to rely on." Lu Yunxiong sneered and attacked Li Ping. "Ming'er." Li Ping's body trembled and tears welled up in her eyes. Although she did not admit it, she knew very well that Lu Ming was afraid that an accident had really happened. The Mystic Essence Sword sect sent someone to announce it. How could it be wrong? She was in despair. "Lu Yunxiong, aren't you afraid of being punished by the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword sect?" A core elder shouted angrily. "Haha, punish? When Lu Ming was alive, he was indeed a peerless genius and was valued by the Mystic Essence Sword sect. But now that he's dead, who would punish me for a dead person? Moreover, everyone here is from the Duanmu family. How could the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword sect punish someone from the Duanmu family? What a joke." Lu Yunxiong laughed wildly. The other burly men from the Duanmu family also laughed proudly. "What a pity. What a pity that little bastard Lu Ming is dead. Otherwise, I would kill his mother in front of him and let him have a taste of losing his family." Ning Kong's tone was very cold. "Bah, a shameless person. Like father, like son. Look at you. No wonder your son died in Ming'er's hands." Li Ping glared at Ning Kong and said disdainfully, "You're courting death." Ning Kong was furious and said to Lu Yunxiong, "Brother Lu, I don't think we should wait any longer. Let me take action now and torture this bitch. I want her to beg for death. At that time she will agree to whatever conditions you have." "Lu Yunxiong, let's do it this way. We don't have so much time to waste here." The old man from the Duanmu clan opened his eyes and said, "Good. Then let's do it this way. I'll leave this person to Brother Ning. You can do whatever you want. Just use whatever means you have." Lu Yunxiong sneered. "Lu Yunxiong, what are you trying to do? How could you treat a member of the Lu clan like this? Are you still human?" A core elder of the Lu family roared. Bang. Suddenly Ning Kong's figure moved, and a palm strike landed on this core elder's body. Ning Kong was a 9th level martial master expert, a core elder of the Lu clan. How could he possibly block it? His body was pierced through by the boundless palm energy, and he was sent flying, no longer breathing. "You old fogies, why are you chirping here? You're courting death." Ning Kong said coldly. All of you will die a horrible death. Lu Yunxiong, you will suffer retribution." The other 3 core elders roared. Now, only 3 of the 7 core elders of the Lu clan were left. The rest were killed by the Duanmu clan 2 days ago. Shut up, you old fogies. I wanted to spare your lives, but it seems like it's no longer necessary. Attack, kill them. Lu Yunxiong waved his hand. Clang, clang. Around them, a few burly men from the Duanmu clan unsheathed their sabers and were about to attack. At that moment, a burly man who was covered in blood staggered in. Oh no, oh no. The burly man shouted. What's going on? Lu Yunxiong's face changed. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. The burly man exclaimed. As soon as he said that, everyone was shocked. What Lu Ming? Lu Ming is dead. Lu Yunxiong said. No, he's not dead. He's not dead. He killed his way in. The burly man shouted, his eyes shining with fear. What? Lu Yunxiong and the others were shocked. As for Li Ping and the other 3 core elders, they were stunned for a moment before they were overjoyed. Ming-er is not dead. Ming-er is not dead. Li Ping muttered to himself, tears of joy rolling down his cheeks. He was so excited that his body trembled. Haha, the young lord is not dead. I knew it. The young lord is a genius, how could he die? The core elders of the Lu clan laughed. Impossible, how is this possible? Lu Yunxiong roared. Nothing is impossible. A cold voice came from the sky. A young figure stepped on the void, his body as light as a feather, and floated in. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. It's really him, he's not dead. Exclamations could be heard from the crowd. Ah, it's really the young lord. The 3 core elders laughed. Ming. Li Ping was excited. Lu Ming, it's really him. Lu Yunxiong and Ning Kong growled in shock. Lu Ming did not look at the others. He took several steps forward and landed in front of Li Ping like a gust of wind. Looking at Li Ping's pale face, Lu Ming felt a throbbing pain in his heart. His eyes reddened as he said, Mother, I'm late, I've made you suffer. Ming-er, is it really you? Mother thought I'd never see you again. Li Ping caressed Lu Ming's face as tears flowed down her cheeks. Initially she really thought that Lu Ming was dead, and her heart was filled with despair. But now Lu Ming was standing in front of her, alive and well. The joy was indescribable, and she seemed to have recovered a lot in an instant. Mother, take this pill. Lu Ming took out a pill that could replenish blood and qi and fed it to Li Ping. Li Ping took the pill, but as if she remembered something, her face changed. Leave quickly, don't care about Mother, leave quickly. Leave. Since you're here, you want to leave? Ridiculous. Lu Yunxiong said coldly. At this moment, Lu Ming slowly turned around. His expression was indifferent, and his eyes were cold as ice. His gaze swept across Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the other members of the Duanmu family. He said coldly, all of you must die. Lu Ming's murderous intent was extremely strong. He had never felt such a strong murderous intent toward anyone before. Dragons had reverse scales, and those who touched them would be killed. For Lu Ming, his family was his reverse scale. Haha, Lu Ming, you still want to kill us? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong laughed. Kill Lu Ming must be killed. Kill him and pretend that he didn't appear today, that he died in the Dongyi ruins. The old man in the armchair stood up and said coldly. If Lu Ming returned to the Mystic Essence Sword sect, it would be difficult for them to act. They might as well kill Lu Ming today and pretend that Lu Ming didn't appear and died in the Dongyi ruins. This way, as long as the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword sect didn't send people to investigate, they wouldn't know. Lu Ming, it's good that you're not dead. Today I'll kill the person closest to you in front of you, and let you taste the pain of losing a loved one, haha. Ning Kong laughed. Lu Ming, you're really stupid. If I were you, I would run back to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. How dare you show up here in broad daylight? You're the one who's looking for death. Chapter 177. Young Master, leave quickly. Don't worry about us. A core elder roared. Kill? Kill. However, Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the sky. His aura exploded as he swept his long spear towards the surrounding Duanmu family members. Kill him. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Swish, swish. Sabers were unsheathed one by one. The surrounding Duanmu family members shouted angrily as they slashed towards Lu Ming. Dozens of people attacked together. However, when Lu Ming's long spear swept past, the saber radiance collapsed. 5 or 6 men were swept away by Lu Ming like cannonballs. They crashed into the wall of the courtyard and slid down like mud without any signs of life. Kill. Lu Ming shouted angrily as he swept his spear again. Another 7 or 8 men were killed. These were all martial artists in the martial master realm. They were far inferior to Lu Ming. Attack martial masters attack. Lu Yunxiong was shocked and furious. On the stairs, more than 10 martial master realm martial artists dashed out and pounced on Lu Ming. Among the dozen or so martial grandmasters, the lowest cultivation was at the first level of the martial grandmaster realm and the highest was at the 5th level of the martial grandmaster realm. When more than 10 people joined forces, their power was shocking. Landslide. In an instant, Lu Ming erupted with all his strength without holding back. He brought out his bloodline and the power of fire, bringing out his full combat prowess. During this period of time, Lu Ming had made great progress. Before he came out, his fire force had reached small success. His fire force had reached small success and its power was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming's entire body was filled with scorching heat, as if he was a volcano with raging flames. Boom. Lu Ming ignored the attacks. He swept his long spear with the force of a landslide. Bang. Bang. The result was the same as before. Lu Ming was unstoppable. 4 to 5 strong martial masters were sent flying. Their bones were broken and their internal organs were shattered. They died before they landed on the ground. Strong, unbelievably strong. Lu Yunxiong and the others gasped in shock and anger. Li Ping and the 3 core elders were shocked, surprised and delighted. Kill. Lu Ming's murderous aura surged like a tide, his momentum like a rainbow. His eyes had already turned red from the killing. Boom. With another sweep of the spear, a few more great martial masters were killed. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand, like an undefeatable god of war, killing unhindered. The people of the Duanmu clan were extremely shocked and couldn't help but retreat. This brat can't be left alive. He's too terrifying. Ning Kong, Lu Yunxiong and the others roared in their hearts. Every time he saw Lu Ming, he would discover that Lu Ming's strength would increase crazily, as if it would never stop. I'll kill him. Ning Kong roared furiously, his body pouncing towards Lu Ming like an eagle. While in midair he struck out with his palm. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th level of the martial master realm. This palm strike was earth-shattering. The space rumbled and the air exploded. A terrifying pressure surged towards Lu Ming. Ancient shield. An ancient shield appeared, blocking in front of Lu Ming. Explode. At the same time, Lu Ming exploded with his strongest move, blasting towards Ning Kong's palm force. Boom. Terrifying shockwaves rolled in all directions. Lu Ming's attack was destroyed. The powerful palm force continued to blast towards Lu Ming. Ming. Li Ping turned pale with fright. At this moment, Li Ping was led by the 3 core elders to a corner of the courtyard. Clang. The powerful palm force blasted onto the shield in front of Lu Ming, causing a violent explosion. The ancient shield was vibrating continuously. Thereafter, it exploded with a loud bang. Lu Ming's body was thrown backward for more than 20 meters. He slammed heavily against a wall before coming to a stop. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The 9th level of the martial master realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Just now he had resisted with all his strength. First, he used the explode to reduce a part of the opponent's palm force. Then he used the ancient shield art to resist. Even with his perfect second stage body, he was still injured by the palm. My bloodline is indeed useless against an existence 5 levels higher than me. Lu Ming sighed. Just now, his bloodline had not erupted yet. It could have devoured half of the attack, but it had failed just now. Ning Kong's cultivation was 7 levels higher than his. The difference was too great. Lu Ming was shocked, but he did not know that Ning Kong and the others were even more shocked. Ning Kong's palm was blocked by Lu Ming. Although he was injured, he was not killed. This was too unbelievable. Especially Ning Kong himself, who was even more shocked. One had to know that he was a 9th level martial master expert. Although he did not go all out, he was confident that even a martial artist who was an 8th level martial master would be injured by his palm. What was Lu Ming's cultivation level? The 2nd level of the martial master realm. How was this possible? Earth level martial skill? You actually cultivated an earth level martial skill? The Duanmu family elder who was sitting on the armchair shouted crazily. What? Earth level martial skill? The others were even more shocked. Earth level martial skills were extremely rare. The difficulty of cultivating them was even more shocking. Normally, only martial ancestor realm warriors could cultivate them. Lu Ming was only a 2nd level martial master. How could he cultivate it successfully? Kill, we must kill him. At this moment, Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the Duanmu family elders were all shouting in their hearts. They were afraid. Lu Ming's talent was too terrifying. If he was allowed to grow, who knew how powerful he would be? That would be their disaster. Only by killing him in the cradle could they avoid this disaster. Boom. Ning Kong's aura surged. As for the Duanmu family elder, his aura also erupted. He was a 9th level martial master and was even stronger than Ning Kong. He was at the peak of the 9th level martial master. Lu Ming, you must die today. Lu Yunxiong roared. Is that so? You're the one who will die today. Lu Ming's voice was very indifferent. Ming'er, leave quickly. You're still not their match. As long as you leave, they won't dare to do anything to me. Li Ping shouted, extremely worried. Those people were too strong. Lu Ming was obviously not their match. Mother, don't worry. Even if the person who hurt you is at the end of the world, I will kill him. Lu Ming smiled slightly. At this moment, his hand glowed. The fire-tongue spear disappeared and was replaced by the demon-banishing spear. Beast soul, beast soul. I didn't expect it to come in handy so soon. Lu Ming whispered. That's right. He planned to merge with the beast soul and fight with Ning Kong. There were 2.5 beast souls in the demon-banishing spear. 2 of them were at the peak of martial ancestor realm and were known as half-step king beast souls. The other half was a king beast soul. Lu Ming planned to merge with the peak of martial ancestor realm beast soul. However, he was taking a huge risk. Given Lu Ming's current cultivation and physical strength, he was not confident that he would be able to withstand the recoil. However, this was the only way at the moment. Beast soul, come out. The demon-banishing spear shook and a beast roar was heard. A huge black wolf howled and flew into Lu Ming's body. Boom. At this moment, an extremely strong aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. This aura was strong, evil, tyrannical, and filled with killing intent. Brr. Lu Ming could not help but roar. His voice did not sound like a human's but more like a wolf's. Oh no, he's merging with the beast soul. What a powerful beast soul. Stop him. Chapter 178. Boom. Boom. The Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked. 2 terrifying attacks blasted toward Lu Ming. Brr. Lu Ming roared and leaped forward, sweeping his spear horizontally. The air exploded and the space trembled. Water-like ripples appeared. With 2 loud explosions, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong trembled and flew backward. Ning Kong was even worse off. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How can it be so strong? What level is that demonic beast? Ning Kong shouted in disbelief. He can't hold on for long after fusing with such a powerful beast soul. He will explode from the beast soul's power. Let's attack together and make him explode faster. The Duanmu family's elder roared. At this moment, Lu Ming was indeed under great pressure. The beast soul's violent power was rampaging in his body. His muscles and bones groaned as if they could explode at any time. Even his perfected rank 2 body could not withstand it. At this moment, a blood-red light flashed at his spine and a powerful devouring force was emitted. This devouring power had neutralized most of the violent tearing force. This greatly reduced the pressure on Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming roared and rushed forward. His target was Lu Yunxiong. He had to kill Lu Yunxiong. Save me. Lu Yunxiong turned pale with fright. His legs were trembling as he retreated. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked again. The other Duanmu family members cooperated and attacked. Streaks of sword chi, saber light, and palm energy tore through the air toward Lu Ming. Sky-splitting wolf. Lu Ming roared. His long hair danced in the wind and his aura was demonic. With a thrust of his spear, wolf howls could be heard. From the spear, huge black wolves flew out. This was the combat technique of the huge black wolf beast soul. As he had fused with the beast soul, Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The huge black wolves pounced, their claws splitting the sky as they pounced toward the Duanmu family's experts. Blood-curdling screams rose and fell. More than 10 men from the Duanmu family were torn apart. The Duanmu family elder and Ning Kong were forced back by 7 or 8 black wolves. Kill. Kill them all. Lu Ming wielded his spear and charged towards the remaining Duanmu clan members like a tiger charging into a flock of sheep. Blood splattered everywhere and blood chi permeated the air. At this moment, Lu Ming had transformed into a god of death, slaughtering to his heart's content. Every time a spear shadow flashed, a person would be killed. In just a few breaths, more than 20 people were killed. Fiendish demon, go. The remaining 10 or so members of the Duanmu clan were scared out of their wits. They ran for their lives and fled outside. Lu Ming's figure flashed and killed a few more people. Retreat. Lu Ming is no match for him. Let's retreat first. The old man from the Duanmu clan was so scared that his face was trembling. He roared in anger and then let out a long howl. Jijie. Then a bird cry came from the sky. The two large eagles swooped down. You want to retreat? Stay here. Lu Ming shouted and dashed out, sweeping his spear. Boom. Boom. The old man from the Duanmu clan and Ning Kong joined forces and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. However, the result was that the two of them were forced to retreat. Ning Kong's face turned pale and he spat out another mouthful of blood. Go. The old man from the Duanmu clan borrowed the force and retreated to Lu Yunxiong's side. He grabbed Lu Yunxiong and soared into the sky, reaching 100 meters in the blink of an eye. Although experts at the peak of the 9th level of the martial Grandmaster realm could not fly, it was not difficult for them to jump a few hundred meters. At this moment, the two large eagles had also flown to this distance. The old man from the Duanmu clan and Lu Yunxiong landed on the back of one of the large eagles. The large eagle cried out and soared into the sky. Lu Yunxiong was Lu Yao's father and Duanmu Lin's future father-in-law. His status was not ordinary and he had to save him. Bang. At this moment, Ning Kong stomped his foot and soared into the sky, flying toward the other large eagle. Stay here. Lu Ming roared. His body was like a cannonball as he soared into the sky and charged toward Ning Kong. Landslide. The long spear was like a mountain as it charged toward Ning Kong. Blood slaughter. Ning Kong roared and spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. He exerted all his strength and a terrifying aura roared as he threw out a few palm strikes. The blood and palm energy gathered and formed a few blood-red palm prints that blasted toward Lu Ming. Ning Kong was putting his life on the line. He had even used his secret technique. However, he still could not stop Lu Ming. After merging with the beast soul of a peak martial grandmaster, Lu Ming's strength was infinitely close to the martial grandmaster realm. He stood at the peak of the martial grandmaster realm. Ning Kong was no match for him. The long spear struck and the palm prints were destroyed one by one. Ning Kong coughed out blood and retreated. He used this self-harming method and finally landed on the large eagle's back. On the other hand, Lu Ming's body fell downward. Haha, Lu Ming, you want to kill me? Dream on. You've killed so many people from the Duanmu family. No matter what, the Duanmu family will not let you off. Ning Kong laughed loudly. However, as he laughed, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned as pale as a sheet. That's right. Lu Ming, wait for the anger of the Duanmu family. Your Lu family will be burned to ashes by this anger. The Duanmu family's elder and Lu Yunxiong rode on the large eagle and floated 1,000 meters in the air. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder said coldly. The Duanmu family had suffered heavy losses in this battle. Even the elder himself had been forced to flee. This was a great humiliation and the anger in his heart burned fiercely. Lu Ming, wait for your death. Lu Yunxiong roared angrily. Who allowed you to leave? Suddenly, Lu Ming, who was falling, spoke coldly. He suddenly stomped his feet in the air and his body actually stopped falling. Instead, he shot up. At this moment, his strength had increased tremendously. Even the power of the airborne steps had increased greatly. How can this be? Ning Kong was shocked. He was only a few hundred meters in the air. It was too late for him to go back up. He could only try his best to control the large eagle and escape. The large eagle spread its wings and flew forward rapidly. Die. Lu Ming roared. He held the spear with one hand and bent his body into the shape of a bow. Then he threw out the long spear. Using his body as a bow and the spear as an arrow, the long spear whistled through the air like a bolt of lightning. It was unbelievably fast. This was Lu Ming's full-powered spear. In an instant, it had crossed a few hundred meters and pierced towards Ning Kong. No! Ning Kong wailed. However, it was too late for him to dodge due to his heavy injuries. Puchi! The long spear pierced through Ning Kong's chest, bringing out a stream of blood. A large hole was blasted in Ning Kong's chest. His eyes were filled with extreme unwillingness and fear. As for the large eagle, it was shocked by the murderous intent of the spear. It cried out continuously and stopped in the air. Swoosh! Lu Ming took a few steps back. In an instant, he had crossed a few hundred meters and landed on the back of the large eagle. Lu Ming! Ning Kong cried out a few times in despair. Then, his vitality dissipated and he was no longer breathing. Let's go. Above, Lu Yunxiong and the old man from the Duanmu family almost wet their pants. They hurriedly urged the large eagle to fly towards the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming raised his head and looked. He circulated the essential qi in his body and it burst out. The large eagle under his feet cried out and obeyed the order obediently. Ming, are you all right? Li Ping hurried over and asked with concern. Mother, I'm fine. Chapter 179. Young Master. The 3 core elders of the Lu family were shocked. Their young master had grown to such a level? In their eyes, the Duanmu family's experts were invincible. However, in the hands of Lu Ming they were killed like babies. They were shocked and could not calm down for a long time. 3 core elders, please take care of my mother. Lu Ming looked at the 3 core elders. Yes. The 3 core elders replied instinctively. Ming, where are you going? Li Ping's expression changed. Lu Yunxiong must die. Mother, don't worry. I'll be fine. Lu Ming smiled. Then Lu Ming's bloodline condensed. Lu Ming did not avoid it. His spirit-devouring bloodline opened his mouth and sucked. The blood essence of the Duanmu family experts who had died in the courtyard flew out and gathered toward Lu Ming. Among them there were a few 5th grade and 4th grade martial masters. They were of great help to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm leaving, Lu Ming said. He leaped and stepped onto the huge eagle. Ming, be careful. Li Ping shouted. Mother, don't worry. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. Then he stepped on the eagle. The eagle screeched and flew into the sky. The eagle soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the Lu family had disappeared. Lu Ming controlled the eagle and chased in the direction where Lu Yunxiong and the others had gone. At the same time, Lu Ming's aura dropped rapidly. The beast soul's power was finally exhausted. Lu Ming returned to his original level. However, he felt a stinging pain all over his body. This was caused by the beast soul's power attacking his body. Fortunately, I have the devouring bloodline and devoured most of the power. Otherwise, with my current cultivation and body, I wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lu Ming thought to himself. Then he refined the power of the blood essence to recover his true qi and body. Not long after, the blood essence was completely refined. Among them, the essence blood of a few 5th-layer martial master experts was of great help to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation broke through to the peak of the 2nd-layer martial master realm in one go. As for the injuries on his body, they were more or less healed. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at Ning Kong's corpse on the back of the giant eagle. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th layer of the martial grandmaster realm. His essence blood was absolutely terrifying. Lu Ming did not want to miss it, but he also did not dare to rashly devour it. The essence blood of a 9th layer martial grandmaster is not something that I can devour and refine right now. I'm afraid that if I devour it, my bloodline will explode. Lu Ming pondered. There was a limit to how much essence blood a bloodline could devour. Lu Ming felt that devouring an expert 3 or 4 levels higher than him was already somewhat strenuous. His bloodline would swell. And the essence blood of a 9th layer martial grandmaster expert was at least equivalent to the essence blood of more than 60,000 2nd layer martial grandmasters. 60,000 was really too terrifying. Lu Ming guessed that if he devoured it, his bloodline might really explode from the violent energy. Forget it, I can't be too greedy. I'll just devour a drop and see. Lu Ming made up his mind. Then he controlled his bloodline and carefully devoured a drop of essence blood, sinking it into his bloodline. Boom. In an instant, it was as if a volcano had erupted in his bloodline. Violent energy wreaked havoc. Lu Ming's spirit-devouring bloodline was originally a small snake less than a meter long. At this moment, it was forcefully swollen. Its length had increased by several times, and its thickness had increased by 10 times. The energy was too terrifying. Even if it was only a drop of essence blood, its energy was equivalent to the essence blood of more than 7,000 2nd-layer martial grandmasters. Refine. Lu Ming roared. He controlled his bloodline with all his strength and crazily refined it. Streams of pure energy flowed into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming continuously circulated the true dragon battle art, absorbing this energy and transforming it into true qi. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly increased. However, Lu Ming controlled his bloodline. Most of the energy essence was absorbed by his bloodline and used to upgrade his bloodline. Otherwise, the energy would be too huge. Lu Ming would not be able to absorb it all. About 20% of the energy was transformed into true qi. The other 80% was used to upgrade his bloodline. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly approached the 3rd-layer martial grandmaster realm. Boom. Half an hour later, Lu Ming's body shook. He had broken through to the 3rd-layer martial grandmaster realm. After breaking through to the 3rd-layer martial grandmaster realm, Lu Ming's refining speed increased greatly. The energy was continuously transformed into true qi. Early 3rd layer Martial Grandmaster Realm, Mid 3rd layer Martial Grandmaster Realm. When he reached the Mid 3rd layer Martial Grandmaster Realm, the spirit-devouring bloodline let out a roar, following which the 6th blood-red chakra flashed. The bloodline had upgraded to the 6th grade. With a 6th grade bloodline, the devouring power increased greatly. The refining speed of the blood essence also increased greatly. The body of the spirit-devouring bloodline slowly shrunk. 18 hours later, Ning Kong's drop of blood essence was completely refined. Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 3rd layer Martial Grandmaster Realm. He was only a step away from the 4th layer Martial Grandmaster Realm. Of course, this was because most of the essence was used to upgrade his bloodline. This also caused Lu Ming's bloodline to reach the peak of the 6th grade. His 6 chakras were bright and full. It was as if a new chakra could be born at any time. One must know that the higher the grade of the bloodline, the more terrifying the amount of blood essence needed to upgrade. However, this time, Lu Ming's bloodline had increased by 1 grade. One could imagine how terrifying the blood essence of a 9th layer Martial Grandmaster was. Lu Ming opened his eyes and looked at Ning Kong's corpse. He felt that it was a pity. After half a day, the essence of the blood essence in Ning Kong's body had already dissipated. The higher the cultivation of a cultivator, the slower the dissipation of the blood essence after death. However, for a 9th layer Martial Grandmaster expert, it would take at most 3 hours for the essence of the blood essence to dissipate. True Qi burst out and Ning Kong's corpse fell down. With one less person, the speed of the eagle increased greatly. It quickly chased forward. A few hours later, a black dot could be seen in the distance. It was Lu Yunxiong and the others. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming has caught up. Obviously, Lu Yunxiong had also discovered Lu Ming. He was so frightened that he cried out. This little bastard still dares to chase after us. Could it be that the power of his beast spirit hasn't dissipated? How is this possible? The Duanmu clan's elder's face was gloomy. Lu Yunxiong, I've said that you will die. You can't escape. Lu Ming shouted. His voice was incomparably cold. What should we do? Elder Chow, what should we do? Lu Yunxiong was scared out of his wits as he muttered. Could it be that the power of this little bastard's beast spirit hasn't dissipated? Or perhaps he still has another beast spirit. The old man of the Duanmu clan, named Duanmu Chao, was constantly thinking. He looked at Lu Ming with fear in his eyes. Don't worry, we're almost at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. As long as we reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, that little bastard Lu Ming won't be able to do anything to us. At that time, the ones who will die won't be us, but him. Duanmu Chao said with a gloomy face. It would take 10 days to reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect from Firestorm City on the Azure-Scaled Horse. However, it would only take 1 day on the Eagle. Chapter 180. Hurry up. Hurry up. Duanmu Chao's vital energy surged into the eagle's body. The eagle screeched as if it had been stimulated by something. It sped up and flew forward. The 2 eagles flew toward the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, one in front and one behind. They were separated by about 10,000 meters. Lu Ming's speed was faster because he had one less person. The distance between them was slowly closing. However, it was impossible for him to catch up in a short time. Very quickly, 3 hours passed in a flash. The distance between them was only about 2,000 meters. However, they were already close to the boundary of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Haha, we're almost there. We're finally there. Lu Ming, you still want to kill me? Dream on. Lu Yunxiong laughed maniacally. However, the murderous intent in Lu Ming's eyes did not diminish. It was extremely strong. Whoosh, whoosh. Soon, the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect was in sight. The eagle screeched as it flew past the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. However, Lu Ming did not show any signs of stopping. He continued to chase after it. What's going on? Why isn't Lu Ming stopping? Lu Yunxiong was a little flustered. It's fine. He's just bluffing. When we reach the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming won't dare to do anything. Duanmu Chao said confidently. The 2 eagles flew past the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect one after another. Who's that on the eagle? The one in front seems to be the chief elder of the White Tiger Hall. The one in the back looks familiar. Wait, Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming? What? Lu Ming. It's really Lu Ming. Oh my god, Lu Ming is not dead. It's really him. Lu Ming is not dead. Suddenly, the entire Mystic Essence Sword Sect was in an uproar. The news spread like wildfire. Lu Yunxiong, I don't care where you run to. I'll kill you today. Lu Ming's voice was filled with killing intent as it spread throughout the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Not good, senior brother Lu Ming wants to kill the people of the White Tiger Hall, and from the looks of it he wants to kill his way to the White Tiger Hall. No, I must tell Pang Shi, Feng Wu and the others about this matter, and let them inform Elder Mulans. Down below, a few disciples of the Vermilion Bird sect were shocked as they ran towards the Vermilion Bird sect. Whoosh. Up ahead, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were riding on the giant eagle as they sped toward the White Tiger courtyard. 1,000 meters behind, Lu Ming was in hot pursuit. Two large eagles flying above the Mystic Essence Sword sect without any scruples naturally caused a commotion. Lu Ming didn't die and he's chasing after the White Tiger Hall's chief elder, saying that he wants to kill Lu Yunxiong. Who is Lu Yunxiong? You're ignorant, aren't you? You should know Duanmu Lin's fiancé Lu Yao, right? Lu Yunxiong is Lu Yao's father, and I heard that Lu Yao and Lu Ming are from the same clan. I see, but how is it possible that Lu Ming is chasing after the chief elder? I don't know, but something big must be going on. Let's go and take a look. A large group of people gathered below the Mystic Essence Sword sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. A few minutes later, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were the first to arrive at the White Tiger Hall. The giant eagle landed on a huge square in the White Tiger Hall. As soon as it landed, the giant eagle started foaming at the mouth and fell to the ground, twitching. Along the way, the giant eagle had been burning its potential and could not hold on any longer. Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao jumped down and stood on the square. Both of them were relieved when they arrived there. Ah, we're finally safe. Lu Yunxiong was ecstatic, but he was still in a state of shock. He was really scared out of his wits by Lu Ming. Don't worry, Lu Ming won't dare to make a move here even if he has 10 guts. I'll report this to the dean and he'll personally take down Lu Ming. He killed so many people from the Duanmu family, no one can protect him. Duanmu Chao put his hands behind his back and resumed his calm expression. The White Tiger Hall was the headquarters of the Duanmu family. Who would dare to kill someone here? Unless they were tired of living. He was sure that Lu Ming was about to stop. Lu Ming really did stop. He rode the giant eagle and hovered above the square. How dare you, Lu Ming? You killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family, and now you're riding a giant eagle to barge into the White Tiger Hall. You're too audacious and sinful. Now get down here and beg for mercy. Maybe I'll leave your corpse intact. Duanmu Chao reprimanded with his hands behind his back. Ah, Lu Ming, come on. Didn't you say you wanted to kill me? Come down and kill me if you can. Ah. Lu Yunxiong laughed and looked at Lu Ming with disdain. But in the next moment, the smile on his face froze. Lu Ming's figure moved and he jumped down from the big eagle. With a loud bang, he landed heavily on the square, crushing the stone slabs on the square and sending gravel flying everywhere. I don't need you to shout. I've said that I'll kill you. It doesn't matter where you hide. Lu Ming walked step by step toward Lu Yunxiong. Oh, Lu Ming, what are you doing? How dare you? How dare you? This is the White Tiger Hall. Lu Yunxiong's face changed drastically. He couldn't help but step back as he screamed. However, Lu Ming's eyes were as cold as ice. He only said one word, kill. How arrogant. Men, Lu Ming has killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family. He's gone mad. Attack together and kill him. Duanmu Chao could no longer stay calm and shouted. There were many people from the White Tiger Hall in the square. At that moment, one of them rushed over. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. He's not dead. Who cares if he's dead or not? How dare he kill so many people from the Duanmu family? He's dead for sure now. Attack, kill him. Some of the people who rushed over were silver-ranked disciples from the White Tiger Hall. Some were middle-aged men who were no longer disciples. They had cultivated for many years and had high cultivation levels. Most of them were martial grandmasters. The martial masters did not dare to rush over. Boom. Lu Ming held the demon-banishing spear. His aura was wild and his hair fluttered. He shouted coldly, my targets are Lu Yunxiong and Lu Yunxiong. If you don't want to die, scram. How arrogant. Let's see what you've got. You're just the number 1 disciple of the bronze rank. You're nothing in my eyes. Some silver-ranked disciples shouted. These people were all 5th-layer martial masters, and there were even 6th-layer martial masters among them. Since that's the case, kill them. Lu Ming's killing intent exploded. The demon-banishing spear shook and a beast soul merged into his body. The second beast soul was at the pinnacle of the martial ancestor realm. In an instant, Lu Ming's aura rose crazily. He was like a demon. Kill. The long spear swept out and a 100-meter-long spear light appeared. It was as thick as a bucket. Bang, bang. Dozens of disciples of the White Tiger Hall were swept away. More than a dozen of the weaker ones had their bodies blasted apart. In an instant, more than a dozen martial grandmasters were killed. Hiss. Some of the White Tiger Hall disciples who did not rush over gasped. Their eyeballs almost popped out. One spear, just one spear, killed more than a dozen martial grandmasters and severely injured more. It was too powerful. Audacious. Audacious. Lu Ming killed his fellow disciples. He's going to rebel. A disciple from the White Tiger Hall shouted. I've said it's none of your business. If you don't want to die, scram. With your cultivation, how could you have gone with them? You don't have to blame yourself, Feng Wu said. However, from her pained expression, it could be seen that she felt extremely uncomfortable in her heart. Oh, Lu Ming, did he really fall just like that? Feng Wu sighed in his heart. When the plane collapses, even a martial ancestor would not be able to escape death, let alone Lu Ming. Sigh. I don't want to believe it either. Mulan sighed. Her eyes were filled with grief and sorrow. Lu Ming, could it be that you only have this little bit of luck? Are you going to leave just like that? Originally, I thought you would grow into a powerhouse. Also, I still owe you a reward? How can you leave just like that? Mulan's thought in her heart. Also Mulan's clenched her teeth as mist filled her eyes. A while ago, the sect had already informed Lu Ming's family. As far as I know, Lu Ming's only close relative is his mother. It can be said that Lu Ming is his mother's only hope and support, Feng Wu said. The moment he said that, the atmosphere became even more solemn. Why don't we go to senior brother Lu Ming's house together and take a look at Lu Ming's mother so that she won't be too sad? Pang Shi suggested. I think so too. We'll stay in the Lu family for a while and accompany Lu Ming's mother. Feng Wu also nodded. Then we'll set off tomorrow morning, Mulan said. At this moment, the door to the courtyard was pushed open heavily. Two youths ran in while panting heavily. Pang Shi, Elder Mulans, it's great that you're all here. Something big has happened. A skinny young man with a head full of sweat said. Niu Huan, why are the two of you in such a hurry? What happened to make the two of you so anxious? Feng Wu asked with a frown. These two youths were disciples of the same batch as Lu Ming and were very familiar with Pang Shi and the others. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming, he's back. Niu Huan gasped for breath and shouted. Bang, bang, bang. With that said, Mulan's, Feng Wu and the other two's auras burst out uncontrollably. At the same time, they jumped up from their seats as if they had been electrocuted. What did you say? Senior brother Lu Ming is back? Which Lu Ming? Pang Shi stared with his eyes wide open, almost roaring out. Mulan's and the others also stared at Niu Huan with their eyes wide open. Their eyes flickered with an indescribable hope. Of course it's senior brother Lu Ming who is ranked first on the bronze list. Niu Huan seemed to be infected by their expressions and also roared. Senior brother Lu Ming. Haha, is it really senior brother Lu Ming? Niu Huan, are you sure you didn't see wrongly? Pang Shi laughed out loud and grabbed Niu Huan's shoulder tightly. Of course I didn't see wrongly. Not only did the two of us see it, many other senior and junior brothers also saw it. The other youth also said. Lu Ming, Mulan's clenched her fists tightly as she muttered under her breath. Her tall and straight twin peaks were constantly moving up and down as her beautiful eyes flickered with extreme surprise. Lu Ming is not dead, this is a joyous occasion. Niu Huan, why are you shouting that something bad is going to happen? Feng Wu took a few deep breaths, calmed himself down and asked. Senior brother Lu Ming, he is charging towards the White Tiger Hall. Niu Huan called out. What? Mulan's and the other two turned pale with fright. What's going on with the White Tiger Hall? Mulan's asked anxiously. I don't know, we only saw senior brother Lu Ming riding on a huge eagle, chasing after elder Duanmu Chao of the White Tiger Hall, and a person called Lu Yunxiong. I only heard senior brother Lu Ming roar that he must kill Lu Yunxiong, while Duanmu Chao roared that senior brother Lu Ming had killed dozens of experts from the Duanmu family. Later on, senior brother Lu Ming and the others went to the White Tiger Hall, while we rushed back. Niu Huan said. Lu Yunxiong? Not good, could it be that something happened to the Lu family? Lu Yunxiong knows that Lu Ming has fallen and wants to take action against the Lu family? Mulan's face suddenly changed. Back then, she had stayed in the Wind and Fire City for a long time, so she was very familiar with the Lu family's matters. Not good, something must have happened to the Lu family. With Lu Ming's personality he will definitely kill Lu Yunxiong, but if he goes to the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming will definitely die. I will immediately find grandfather to save him. Mulins's expression was extremely ugly. After saying that, she rushed out and disappeared in a flash. Let's go to the White Tiger Hall. Chapter 182. Apart from Mulins and the rest, many other disciples and elders of the four great halls also rushed to the White Tiger Hall after hearing the news. On the square of the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming and the four elders had exchanged more than 10 blows. Lu Ming's aura was like a demon, and he was getting stronger and stronger as the battle went on. The more he fought, the better he was at using the power of the beast spirits. Boom. He pulled out his spear and one of the elders was sent flying while coughing out blood. Those who stand in my way shall die. Lu Ming roared and shot out several spear rays that seemed to be able to pierce through space. Bam bam bam. The remaining 3 elders were sent flying while coughing out blood. Lu Yunxiong, it's your turn. Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at Lu Yunxiong. His target had always been Lu Yunxiong from the beginning. No. Save me. Lu Yunxiong's expression changed drastically as he frantically ran backward. At the same time he screamed. Stop him, Lu Yunxiong is young Master Lin's father-in-law, we can't let him die. Duanmu Chao and the other 3 elders roared and pounced at Lu Ming. Violent attacks surrounded Lu Ming's back. If Lu Ming killed Lu Yunxiong he would be killed too. Lu Ming's eyes flashed fiercely as he roared, then I'll kill you first. Whoosh. Lu Ming turned around and stabbed his spear behind him. The spear was as fast as lightning. Everyone only saw a flash of light in the air. Puchi. Blood splattered everywhere, followed by a roar of anger and despair. The spear pierced through Duanmu Chao's abdomen. The abdomen was not a vital point and Duanmu Chao was not dead yet. No, don't kill me, if you kill me you'll die too. Duanmu Chao screamed in horror. You're still saying that even now, what a joke. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. His spear trembled and a powerful force erupted. Duanmu Chao screamed in agony as his body was torn into pieces. Blood, organs and bones scattered on the ground. Boom. Then the spear light exploded and collided with the other 3 chief elders. Amidst the violent explosion, Lu Ming and the 3 chief elders hurriedly retreated. However, the direction in which Lu Ming was retreating was the direction in which Lu Yunxiong was running. Ah. Lu Yunxiong saw that Duanmu Chao had been blasted into pieces by a single shot, and Lu Ming was rushing towards him. He was even more frightened as he screamed repeatedly. Evil creature. You are courting death. Suddenly, a furious roar came from the sky. It was an old man in a silver robe. His killing intent was incomparably sharp as he flew over from the distance. Silver-robed elder. My Duanmu clan's silver-robed elder has arrived. Ah. Lu Ming is dead for sure. Lu Ming, that bastard, he must have fused with a powerful beast soul. Otherwise he wouldn't have such strong battle prowess. But no matter how strong he is, facing the silver-robed elder, he will be killed with one slap. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall shouted. The silver-robed elder could only be a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert was also known as a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert could already establish a sect and was extremely powerful. Before he arrived, an extremely terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Boom. Following that, the silver-robed elder blasted out a palm across the air. A powerful and terrifying palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. Wild winds howled as the palm print shook the heavens. A mountain-like pressure acted on Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming's body to be unable to move. Is this the strength of a martial ancestor realm expert? He is much stronger than a martial grandmaster realm expert. Block it, I must block it. Ancient shield. Lu Ming roared in his heart. The beast soul energy in his body circulated wildly. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of Lu Ming. The shield condensed from the beast soul energy was more solid than before. It gave off an even more desolate and ancient feeling. At the same time, Lu Ming's long spear stabbed out crazily. In an instant, hundreds of powerful spear radiances blasted forward. Boom. The silver-robed elder's palm print finally blasted out. Bang. Bang. In an instant, Lu Ming's spear radiances were shattered one by one. They exploded in the air like balls of fireworks. The hundreds of spear radiances were swept away. The palm print continued to move forward. Lu Ming used the high air steps and quickly retreated. However, he was still hit by the palm print. Clang. The ancient shield made a melodious vibrating sound. The shield shook violently and in the next moment, it exploded with a loud bang. However, this was an Earth Realm martial skill after all. Moreover, it was operated by the beast soul energy. Compared to the shield condensed from his true chi, its defensive ability was much stronger. Although it was shattered, it still offset most of the palm power. However, the remaining palm power was still very strong. Lu Ming blocked with his long spear. With a loud bang, his body was pushed back more than 100 meters and he spat out a mouthful of blood. A long gully appeared under his feet. However, he still managed to block it. The sound of people inhaling cold air could be heard continuously. Lu Ming could block the palm of the silver-robed elder head-on and not die. How could this be possible? This was a martial grandmaster. Even if there were 100 martial grandmasters at level 9, they would not be a match for a martial grandmaster at level 1. However, Lu Ming blocked it. Unbelievable. Bang. At this moment, the silver-robed elder jumped down from the sky and stomped heavily on the ground. The ground exploded with a loud bang and a large pit appeared. He was an old man in his 60s with white hair and beard. At this moment, his eyes were full of killing intent and a hint of surprise. He carefully looked at Lu Ming and sneered, "It turns out that you have merged with a powerful beast soul. No wonder you can block my palm print. Get out of my way. I want Lu Yunxiong. Today I will kill him," Lu Ming said coldly. The surrounding people were shocked again. What did it mean to be audacious? This was how he dared to say such words in front of a martial grandmaster. Stupid. Someone scolded coldly. Ah. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family laughed loudly and then scolded, "Now kneel down and destroy your own cultivation. Wait for your punishment." The silver-robed elder stood between Lu Ming and Lu Yunxiong. His aura erupted and he stood there like a mountain. Lu Ming was under great pressure. It seems that I can only use my last move. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of madness. If he was going to go crazy, he would go crazy until the end. He decided to merge with the half of the Monster King's soul. However, the Monster King's soul contained a terrifying amount of energy. With his current cultivation, he would probably explode. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, which had been upgraded to level 6, he was not confident. However, there was no way out now. Even if he retreated, the Duanmu family would not let him go. Only by fighting could he pave a way out. It seems that you are not willing to? Since you're so stubborn, then let me deal with you, you disgraceful little bastard. The silver-robed elder shouted and threw another palm print at Lu Ming. The power of this palm print was stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. Obviously, he had not used his full strength in the previous palm print. Come on then. Let me see how powerful a martial grandmaster is. The madness in Lu Ming's eyes intensified and there was a strong determination in them. Beast soul merge. How? A giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky like the king of all monsters. A terrifying aura spread out. Monster King, the Monster King's soul. Chapter 183. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, his voice shaking the entire White Tiger Institute. Everyone was shocked to the extreme. Their eyes widened as they stared blankly at the giant silver wolf above Lu Ming's head. Heavens, that's the soul of a demon king? Everyone sucked in a mouthful of cold air. A demon king. What kind of existence was that? If it was alive, it could destroy a sect like the Mystic Essence Sword sect. It was extremely powerful. With a wave of its hand, it could split a river and split a mountain. It had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. How did Lu Ming obtain the soul of such an existence? Lu Ming, are you trying to merge with the Demon King's soul? Are you crazy? You're courting death. How can you merge with the Demon King's soul? The silver-robed elder roared. Merge. However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm as he uttered a single word. Brr. The giant silver wolf howled as it charged into Lu Ming's body. Brr. At that instant, Lu Ming let out a furious roar as the aura on his body surged. With a flash of light, the silver-robed elder's palm was shattered. Following that, a dazzling white light overflowed from Lu Ming's body. Even his hair turned silver-white. His silver-white hair danced in the wind. At that moment, Lu Ming looked like a powerful demon. Kill? Lu Ming roared as he thrust out his spear. A silver-white spear radiance burst out. His target was the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family. His speed was unimaginably fast. Why didn't you explode? The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared in disbelief. How could a mere second-grade martial master withstand the power of the Demon King's soul? However, he did not know that Lu Ming was able to withstand the power of the Demon King's soul because of his spirit-devouring bloodline. However, even so, the pressure that Lu Ming was under was still unimaginable. The power of the Demon King's soul was too strong. Although it was only half a Demon King, it allowed Lu Ming's power to increase rapidly. He broke through the martial arts Great Master rank in one fell swoop, allowing Lu Ming to temporarily have the ability to compete with a martial arts Great Master. But this tyrannical power caused Lu Ming's body to suffer quite a bit of damage. His bones were groaning as if they would break at any moment. If I don't kill Lu Yunxiong, how could I possibly explode? Since you want to stop me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long roar, his aura surging like a rainbow. His figure flashed, stepping into the air and charging towards the silver-robed elder. So what if you fused with the beast's soul? Do you really think you can contend against me? I will let you know how naive you are. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, exploding with all his strength. At this moment, the entire square was shrouded in an indescribable pressure. Boom! The two figures clashed in the air, resulting in a shocking explosion. Bang! Following that, a figure frantically retreated. Silver-robed elder, it was that silver-robed elder. First layer martial ancestor realm, SOSO. Lu Ming burst out laughing as his aura became even more terrifying. With a kick, his figure transformed into a silver ray as he charged at the silver-robed elder. At that instant, the silver-robed elder wore an unpleasant expression. Fusing with the beast's soul, he had only read about it in ancient records. He did not expect it to be this powerful, to the extent that even his cultivation of the first-layer martial ancestor realm was no match for it. Hold him off, I just need to hold him off for some time. When the other experts of the White Tiger sect arrive, Lu Ming will surely die. The silver-robed elder quickly thought of this, before he clenched his teeth and charged at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Following a series of explosions, the crowd could only see two glowing figures colliding with one another in mid-air, resulting in a series of explosions and shockwaves. After more than 10 exchanges, a figure was sent flying a few hundred meters backward, leaving a trail of light behind him. As the light dissipated, the crowd could see the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family standing in mid-air, trembling while vomiting blood. His eyes were filled with astonishment. The crowd on the square could not describe their current feelings. It was too shocking. Lu Ming had managed to injure a martial ancestor. Unbelievable, absolutely terrifying. Although it took a long time to describe, it had only taken place in the span of a few breaths. How could this be? How could this be? At the edge of the square, Lu Yunxiong trembled in fear and almost burst into tears. Initially, he thought he was safe after seeing the silver-robed elder, as Lu Ming would not be able to do anything to him. However, after Lu Ming had merged with the beast's soul, he managed to injure the silver-robed elder and almost scared him to death. Run, we have to run. Lu Ming, this bastard is too evil. Lu Yunxiong let out a roar in his heart as he turned around and ran toward the peak of the White Tiger sect. Lu Yunxiong, you won't be able to run away. Lu Ming's cold voice could be heard. With a flicker, he appeared above Lu Yunxiong's head in the blink of an eye. H! Lu Yunxiong screamed and jumped 3 zhang high. He quickly turned around and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and clenched his fist. A silver palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Lu Yunxiong. Lu Yunxiong could not resist and was caught by the silver palm. No, don't kill me. Help, help. Lu Yunxiong's face was flushed red as he tried to prick himself with needles. He screamed crazily. Lu Ming let go of him. Do you know who he is? He is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law. If you kill him, you will be in big trouble. Do you know that? The silver-robed elder from the Duanmu family flew over and shouted. Big trouble? Just because he is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law? What a joke. Lu Ming smiled coldly. Then he exerted force in his hand. Cracking sounds came from Lu Yunxiong's body as countless bones were crushed. Lu Yunxiong screamed in agony. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I am your elder. Lu Yunxiong screamed. Bullshit. Lu Ming shouted coldly, his gaze cold. Father. At that moment, an anxious voice came from the sky. Then a stream of light flew over from afar. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he looked at the stream of light. There were 2 figures in the stream of light. One of them was Lu Yao. The other person was a young man who was about 17 or 18 years old. He was wearing a black suit and had a handsome and cold face. There was a terrifying aura around him. Martial ancestor. The young man who looked like he was about 17 or 18 years old was a martial ancestor realm expert. Duanmu Lin, that is Duanmu Lin. Oh my god, he is flying in the air. Martial ancestor realm. Duanmu Lin has broken through to the martial ancestor realm. It's true, it's true. Duanmu Lin is only 18 years old. An 18-year-old martial ancestor, this is too terrifying. There are only a few people like him in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming is done for. The onlookers could not help but shout when they saw the young man. Duanmu Lin? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Yao, save father, save father. Lu Ming is going to kill me. Lu Yunxiong shouted desperately when he heard Lu Yao's voice. It was as if he was grasping at straws. Whoosh. Chapter 184. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Let him go? Do you think that's possible? You're as naive as before. Lu Ming said with a smile. Lu Ming, you went to the White Tiger Institute and killed their disciples for no reason. Now you're trying to kill my father. Do you know what crime you've committed? Let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Crime? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong and the Duanmu clan killed the people of the Lu clan for no reason. They even tried to kill my mother. What crime am I guilty of? Lu Ming retorted. What? Lu Yao was shocked. Obviously, she did not know that Lu Yunxiong had gone to the Lu clan. However, she quickly regained her composure and said coldly, I don't care. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Ming, I'm begging you. Please let me go. It's my fault. Please have mercy on me. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Clearly he was truly afraid. Have mercy? Aha, Lu Yunxiong, what a joke. Did you show mercy to the core elder of the Lu clan? If I didn't make it in time, would you have shown mercy to my mother? Lu Ming's voice became colder. Lu Ming, let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let him go and kneel down to admit your guilt. This is your best choice. Otherwise I, Duanmu Lin, will say that no one can save you. Duanmu Lin placed his hands behind his back and said coldly. His aura was terrifying. There was a haughty look on his face. No one in this world can save me? Who do you think you are? There are so many geniuses in this world. Do you think you're the best just because you have a little bit of cultivation? You're just a frog in the well. Lu Ming looked at Duanmu Lin and scolded him. The people around them were dumbfounded. Lu Ming said that Duanmu Lin was a frog in the well? They were confused. What did you say? Duanmu Lin's face darkened. Nonsense. I'll kill Lu Yunxiong right now. Let's see what you can do to me. Lu Ming berated. Then he looked at Lu Yunxiong and sneered, All right, Lu Yunxiong, I'll send you on your way now. No, don't. Lu Ming, don't. I don't want to die, save me. Lu Yunxiong screamed crazily. His eyes were filled with fear and hesitation. No. Lu Yao shouted. How dare you? Duanmu Lin berated. Bang. Lu Ming sneered and clenched his fist. The silver palm suddenly closed, and with a bang Lu Yunxiong was struck by an enormous force and exploded. Lu Yunxiong was dead. Father. Lu Yao screamed. Then she looked at Lu Ming and shouted crazily, Lu Ming, I want you to die a horrible death. Boom. Duanmu Lin's aura became even more violent. His face was incomparably gloomy, and the killing intent emanating from him seemed to have materialized. Lu Ming, you've made a very foolish choice. Duanmu Lin's voice was cold. With a wave of his hand, Lu Yao fell to the ground. Die. Then Duanmu Lin shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. Kill. Lu Ming also shouted and charged toward Duanmu Lin. They are fighting. Duanmu Lin and Lu Ming are fighting. Someone shouted excitedly. Duanmu Lin was an unparalleled genius with extraordinary talent. He had awakened his bloodline at a very young age and was invincible. Among his peers no one was a match for him. He suppressed geniuses with special bloodlines and was known as one of the 4 great geniuses of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Moreover, he was ranked first among the 4 great geniuses. He had too many honors in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and was believed to be a genius who could surpass Feng Wuji in the near future. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had only joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect for slightly more than a year. However, he had created miracles one after another. The newcomer king, first on the bronze list in his first year, had comprehended force when he was only a martial master. Now he had charged into the White Tiger Hall for his family. He was a lawless person. Now that the two of them were facing each other, everyone's attention was drawn to them. Among them, who would win? Everyone stared fixedly at him. Boom. Finally, the two of them collided in the air. Silver and black lights shone in the air and occupied the entire sky. Whoosh, whoosh. Then the two of them flew back a few hundred meters. He's much stronger than the silver-robed elder. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Duanmu Lin had just broken through to the martial ancestor realm, but his combat strength was much stronger than an ordinary first-stage martial ancestor realm. He was much stronger than an ordinary expert of the same level. Duanmu was also shocked. Then, kill. Kill. The two of them charged forward at the same time. Terrifying attacks rained down on his opponent in a frenzy. Boom. Boom. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than 10 blows. Brr. Suddenly, a black leopard appeared. Its body was covered in lightning and it had a horn on its head. It stood on top of Duanmu head. Bloodline, that's Duanmu bloodline. It's a 7th grade bloodline. It said that it has the bloodline of a dragon and is extremely powerful. Someone shouted. Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu unleashed his bloodline and roared. He slashed with his saber and endless saber radiance appeared, forming a sun. The sun floated in the air and its power was immeasurable. It was accompanied by terrifying saber radiance that blasted toward Lu Ming. Earth grade martial skill, it's an earth grade martial skill. Someone shouted. Silver Wolf Howling Moon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he let out a loud roar like a wolf king. Then a giant silver wolf appeared. The giant wolf was as big as a mountain and it howled at the sky. Then a full moon appeared above the silver wolf's mouth. The full moon emitted endless radiance and blasted toward Duanmu. This was the Silver Wolf Demon King's superpower. It was contained in the beast's soul and Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The sun and the full moon met in the sky and there was an explosion of endless air waves. Heaven and earth were in chaos and energy waves were shooting everywhere. Between the sun and the full moon, a beam of light shot up to the sky and a big hole appeared in the clouds. Everyone looked at the sky dumbfounded. They looked at the sun and the full moon and the two young men. Break! Duanmu roared. You're still far from it. I'll break you. Brr. Lu Ming howled like a wolf. The silver radiance on his body was so dense that it seemed to have materialized. Sizzle sizzle. The pressure on Lu Ming's body was getting stronger and stronger. It began to make sizzling sounds. Lu Ming's entire body was in excruciating pain. Fine blood beads even seeped out of the pores all over his body. However, Lu Ming didn't care at all and crazily activated the power of the beast's soul. Brr. In the sky, the silver wolf that was as large as a mountain howled. The light of the full moon became even more resplendent. Boom. The sun was suppressed and its radiance dimmed rapidly. It was on the verge of collapse. Rumble. Following that, there was a rumbling sound as the sun began to tremble rapidly. Then it exploded with a loud bang. Duanmu body shook violently and he fell to the ground like a cannonball. At the same time he spat out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu was injured and defeated. Chapter 185. Duanmu, the peerless genius, had already broken through to the martial ancestor realm. However, he was still defeated by Lu Ming and spat out blood. Although Lu Ming had merged with the spirit of the king of beasts instead of his own strength, it was still shocking enough. It was a miracle to be able to merge with the spirit of the king of beasts. Ordinary people would not be able to do it. What peerless genius! You're just a short-sighted kid with some achievements. I'll kill you now. Lu Ming let out a roar as he charged toward Duanmu while his body was covered in a silver glow. The crowd was dumbfounded. He was audacious. He was really audacious. Lu Ming actually wanted to kill Duanmu. Everyone knew that Duanmu was the hope of the Duanmu clan. He was the hope for the rise of the Duanmu clan. It would be fine if Duanmu was killed, as there would still be some time left. However, if Duanmu was killed, the Duanmu clan would not rest until one of them was dead. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He was determined to kill Duanmu. Bang! The silver moon emitted a brilliant glow. Each ray of light was like a spear glow that charged toward Duanmu. Lu Ming, don't you dare! The elder in a silver robe from the Duanmu clan dashed toward Lu Ming without caring about his injuries. A brilliant saber glow was unleashed, but it dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the light of the moon. The elder in a silver robe could not withstand the attack and was knocked backward while spitting out blood. Lu Ming continued to charge toward Duanmu. Beast, how bold! At that instant, a loud roar could be heard from the heavens and earth. The roar caused the heavens and earth to tremble as a powerful pressure burst out from the sky. Many disciples of the 4 academies with weaker cultivation spat out blood and fell to the ground with pale faces. Following this, the clouds in the sky rumbled as a giant hand reached out from the clouds and grabbed at Lu Ming. It's the chief of the White Tiger Institute. Someone yelled. Bang. The dean of the White Tiger Institute was too powerful. Although he was also a martial ancestor, he was much stronger than the silver-robed elder and Duanmu Lin. The giant hand was still high up in the air. It trembled slightly, and an inconceivably powerful force appeared and blasted towards Lu Ming. Bang! The silver full moon was like a bubble, dissipating without a sound. The giant silver wolf roared angrily, but it was also defeated. Lu Ming's body shook violently. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated madly. However, the giant palm did not stop there. It continued to press down on Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming was completely enveloped by the giant palm, and it was difficult for him to escape. Duanmu Pejuan, as the headmaster of the academy, you actually made a move against a junior disciple. Do you have no fucking shame? At this moment, a furious roar came from the south. At the same time, a sword light instantly traversed the void and slashed towards the giant hand. The sword light and the giant hand collided with each other. Like a hot knife through butter, the giant hand was crushed into pieces. Then, the sword light continued to fly toward the clouds in the sky. Yanlan. A furious roar came from the clouds. Then a terrifying saber light flashed past. Boom. Energy swept out and the clouds dissipated, revealing a figure inside. It was the headmaster of the White Tiger Academy, Duanmu Pejuan. A figure appeared in the south. It was the headmaster of the Vermilion Bird Academy, Yanlan. The two headmasters faced each other from a distance. Their auras intersected, and a huge pressure spread out between heaven and earth. Lu Ming bastard, I'm going to kill you. Below, Duanmu Lin roared. His long hair danced in the wind. His aura was like a demon, and his killing intent was so dense that it was tangible. He was actually injured by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was a great humiliation to him. He must kill Lu Ming with his saber. Brr. An earth-shattering roar came out. Duanmu Lin's body emitted an extremely dense blood-red light. Then a flood dragon rushed out from Duanmu Lin's body. This flood dragon was more than 10 meters long and had a slender body. It had 4 claws on its abdomen and its body was covered with black scales. Lightning constantly flowed on the scales, and a king-like aura spread out. The most eye-catching thing was that there were 2 chakras on the black flood dragon's body. These chakras were not blood-red but silver. 2 silver chakras. Almost everyone at the scene was stunned. Then they shouted, "King-grade bloodline, this is a king-grade bloodline. Moreover, it's a grade 2 king-grade bloodline. Duanmu Lin's second awakening is actually a grade 2 king-grade bloodline. This is too shocking. Monster, there is hope for a martial king in the future." Most of the people could not help but shout. When a martial artist broke through from the martial master realm to the martial ancestor realm, there would be a nirvana process. During this process, one could awaken a second bloodline and awaken a second type of bloodline. Generally speaking, the second awakening of a bloodline's grade would be higher than the first awakening. As for whether the grade was higher or lower, it was completely uncertain. It depended on one's potential and accumulation. This was a real nirvana. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was not high enough, but they could awaken an extremely high-grade bloodline in the second awakening. From then on, they would soar into the sky and become a world-renowned expert. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was very high, but the second awakening of a bloodline might only be 1 grade higher than the first. In that case, they would slowly be overtaken by others. Generally speaking, grade 9 bloodlines had another name, which was mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline's chakras were blood red. Above mortal grade bloodline, there was another grade of bloodline, which was called king grade bloodline. King grade bloodline was also divided into 9 grades. The chakras were silver, which was much stronger than mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline could not compare to king grade bloodline in terms of cultivation speed or the increase in combat strength. It was said that there was another type of bloodline above king grade bloodline, which was called god grade bloodline. However, this grade of bloodline was only a legend and was rarely seen in the world. Duanmu Lin's second awakening of a bloodline was a grade 2 king grade bloodline, which was shocking. One should know that most people's second awakening of a bloodline was only a grade 9 mortal grade bloodline. Those who could awaken a king grade bloodline were few and far between. Duanmu Lin's king grade bloodline had raised his aura to the peak. Great Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu Lin roared. His saber cut through the void and endless saber radiance condensed into a sun. This sun was twice as strong as the previous one. Silver Wolf howls at the moon. Lu Ming roared and unleashed the beast soul power in his body to the extreme. Another giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky. A silver full moon appeared, which was brighter than the previous one. Boom. Once again the sun and the moon collided in the sky. Endless light filled the air and the space trembled as if it was about to explode. Kill. Kill. Duanmu Lin roared crazily as his violent genuine qi surged out. However, Lu Ming also unleashed the beast soul power to the extreme. Crack. 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 Lu Ming's body kept emitting sounds like beans being fried. His bones were trembling and his muscles were wriggling. Blood was seeping out of his pores. Chapter 186. Devour. Lu Ming controlled his bloodline with all his might and devoured the tearing force. The terrifying devouring force covered his entire body and prevented him from exploding from the beast soul's power. However, after a series of battles, Lu Ming's body was still severely injured. The rumbling continued as the sun and moon reflected each other in the sky. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the two young men in the sky. The two deans of the White Tiger Hall and Vermilion Bird Hall were confronting each other and no one could interfere. Swoosh, swoosh. In the sky, there were flashes of light as silver-robed elders appeared one after another. At first it was the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall. Soon the silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, and Black Tortoise Hall appeared in the sky. There were more than 20 silver-robed elders of the four halls. Boom. At this moment, the sun and moon in the sky suddenly collapsed and dissipated into energy. Kill. Kill. The two of them roared in unison as their killing intent surged like a tide and pounced towards each other. The saber aura and spear aura swept across the sky and tore through the air. The two of them continued to fight in the sky and the battle was extremely intense. Below, Lu Yao looked at the sky in a daze as her eyes were filled with disbelief. Lu Ming, the previously weak and sickly trash who couldn't cultivate, had actually grown to this stage? She couldn't accept it and couldn't accept it. He's just relying on external forces. He can't be compared to Brother Lin. Brother Lin is 100 times, no, 1,000 times stronger than him. Lu Yao kept reminding herself in her heart. Lu Ming. Senior Brother Lu Ming. At this moment, Mulins, Feng Wu, Pang Shi, and the rest rushed over. Soon after, more people rushed over after receiving the news. For example, Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang, and the rest. After rushing over, they stood at the side and looked at the sky in shock. In the sky, Lu Ming and Duan Mulin had exchanged more than 100 blows, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. Let's attack together and kill that little bastard Lu Ming. He killed dozens of our Duanmu clan's experts. A silver-robed elder of the Duanmu clan roared. Who dares? Yen Lan shouted as his sword aura soared into the sky. The other silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Courtyard also unleashed their auras and rushed forward. Yen Lan, Lu Ming massacred the elders of the same sect. How dare you shield him? Duanmu Pajuan shouted loudly. We haven't figured out the cause of this matter yet. I believe that Lu Ming wouldn't do such a thing casually. There must be a reason behind it. Yen Lan didn't give in at all. I don't care what the reason is. It's a fact that Lu Ming massacred his fellow disciples. It's a fact that he killed my Duanmu clan. That's enough. He must die today. Duanmu Pajuan's voice was incomparably cold. Then why don't you try? Yen Lan coldly shouted. Both sides faced each other, and it seemed like an intense battle was about to break out. Enough. At this moment, a calm voice sounded from the depths of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Sect leader. The expressions of Yen Lan, Duanmu Pajuan, and those silver-robed elders changed. Whoosh, whoosh. 4 beams of light tore through the void and appeared above the square in an instant. 4 figures emerged. The person in the lead was the Mystic Essence Sword sect master Lin Shui. Behind him were 3 old men in golden robes. They were all golden-robed elders. The moment the Mystic Essence Sword sect master appeared, he frowned and waved his hand. A gentle force was generated and surged towards Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin who were fighting. Their attacks dissipated into nothingness, and their bodies seemed to be pushed back by something, retreating backwards. Sect leader, please don't stop me. Let me kill this bastard. Duanmu Lin roared and his body was filled with killing intent. You're an arrogant and self-righteous piece of trash. Do you think I'm afraid of you? It's not certain who will kill who. Do you really think you're a genius? In my eyes, you're just a piece of trash. Lu Ming coldly retorted. Bastard, smash it. I'm going to kill you. Duanmu Lin roared. Enough. The Mystic Essence Sword sect leader shouted again. This shout didn't seem heavy, but it reverberated in Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin's ears like thunder. Their expressions changed and they didn't say anything. Sect leader, you've come at the right time. Lu Ming, this bastard, first killed dozens of people from the Duanmu clan. Then he dared to kill his way into the White Tiger Hall. In front of everyone he killed dozens of martial grandmasters and even the chief elder. Such a rebellious and crazy person must die. I beg the sect leader to let me kill him personally. Duanmu Pejuan bowed to the sect leader and said, Duanmu Pejuan, don't accuse me. I said let's find out the reason first. Yanlan also cupped his fists and looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, tell me what is going on. Didn't you kill dozens of people from the Duanmu clan before? The before that Yanlan mentioned was obviously before they came to the White Tiger Hall. That's right. Lu Ming admitted it directly. Duanmu Pejuan was overjoyed and Yanlan was shocked. Mulans and the others revealed anxious expressions. Duanmu Pejuan said, Sect leader, look, Lu Ming admitted it himself. I did admit it, but why don't you ask me where I killed them? Lu Ming sneered. I don't care where you killed them. It's a fact that you killed people from the Duanmu clan. Haha. Lu Ming sneered and ignored Duanmu Pejuan. He said, it was in my clan, the Lu clan. Under the leadership of Lu Yunxiong, the people of the Duanmu clan slaughtered people from the Lu clan. They even wanted to kill my mother. Let me ask you, should these people be killed? Lu Ming didn't speak to the people of the Duanmu clan. Instead, he spoke to the other people from the 4 great halls and the sect leader. What? There was such a thing? Everyone was shocked and they all looked at Duanmu Pejuan. Damn it, Duanmu Pejuan, your Duanmu clan has such great power. You actually killed the family of a disciple without permission. You're worse than a beast. If it were me, I would also kill them. Yanlan's hair stood on end as he glared at Duanmu Pejuan. Nonsense, Lu Ming, you're talking nonsense. You slandered my Duanmu clan. You deserve to die. Duanmu Pejuan shouted angrily. Slandered? The corpses of your Duanmu clan disciples are still lying in my Lu clan. Do you want to go and take a look? Lu Ming mocked. Duanmu Pejuan's face was a little ugly as he said, even if there was such a thing, it's possible that they heard the rumors and were bewitched. You should have returned to the sect and reported the situation. The sect would naturally investigate. However, you acted on your own and killed them. Your intentions are terrible. Ah. After hearing this, Lu Ming laughed loudly. He then said, Duanmu Pejuan, what you mean is that you want me to ignore the life and death of my family first and let your Duanmu clan people kill my Lu clan people and kill my mother. Then I will return to report to the sect and make a decision. Has your head been kicked by a donkey? Or is your IQ so low? Lu Ming's voice, which was filled with disdain, was like a storm that spread throughout the entire place. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually dared to scold Duanmu Pejuan? He said that Duanmu Pejuan's head had been kicked by a donkey? Wasn't he too daring? Little bastard you, what did you say? Chapter 187. Haha, well scolded, well scolded. This old man's head has already been kicked by a donkey. Yanlan laughed. Sect leader, you have seen it too. This kid has no respect for his elders. It is obvious that his character is low. Letting him live in this world is a disaster. Today we must kill him. Duanmu Pejuan said to the sect leader. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword sect frowned. Lu Ming was undoubtedly a top genius. How could he say that he wanted to kill him? However, if he didn't kill him, how could he explain to the Duanmu family? Sect leader, Lu Ming killed 35 martial master experts and 15 great martial masters from the White Tiger Yard. There was even a chief elder who was a 9th grade martial master. These people were all elites of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. They gave their all for the sect. Yet, they died in the hands of a junior disciple. If we don't kill Lu Ming, I'm afraid we will be disappointed. That's right. Sect leader, even if those people were wrong, the martial grandmasters behind them were just guarding the White Tiger Hall and protecting the sect. What wrong did they do? Yet they were killed mercilessly. Lu Ming must be killed. Some of the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall also stepped forward. The crowd couldn't help but look at the square. There were more than 10 corpses lying there. The blood had yet to dry. Yanlan frowned. It was reasonable for Lu Ming to kill those people who barged into the Lu family. However, it was hard to justify these people. They prevented me from killing the real culprit. I reminded them that they asked for it. Lu Ming said coldly. Ah, what a joke. Lu Ming, according to what you said, if the sect leader stopped you, would you kill the sect leader as well? Duanmu Pejuan laughed. Lu Ming frowned and didn't say anything. He couldn't refute this point. This matter was caused by your Duanmu family. Lu Ming was trying to protect his family and his mother. In a moment of desperation he attacked too heavily. This is human nature. It is pardonable. He doesn't deserve to die. Yan Lan said. Yan Lan, are you sure you want to protect Lu Ming? Duanmu Pejuan said. That's right. Yan Lan was resolute and decisive. Then let's fight today. Let's see how long you can protect Lu Ming. Duanmu Pejuan roared. Boom. Duanmu Pejuan and Yan Lan's auras exploded as they clashed in the air. The sect leader frowned. Pejuan, stop. An old voice sounded. Then, with a flash of golden light, a white-haired old man with a walking stick appeared in the air. This old man was wearing a golden robe. Clearly he was a golden-robed elder. Father, why did you come out of seclusion? Seeing the old man, Duanmu Pejuan cried out in alarm. When the others heard this, they were all shocked. This person was actually Duanmu Pejuan's father? This is troublesome. Yan Lan muttered with a frown. Below, Mulin's eyes were filled with worry. Duanmu Pejuan's father, Duanmu Tsanghai, was the previous clan leader of the Duanmu family. He was also the previous dean of the White Tiger Hall. Although his current identity was a golden-robed elder of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, his cultivation was extremely terrifying. It was unfathomable and surpassed ordinary golden-robed elders. It was said that in recent years, he had been cultivating in seclusion in hopes of breaking through to the Supreme King realm. Unexpectedly, he came out of seclusion now. Greetings, old clan leader. Everyone from the Duanmu family stepped forward and bowed. Old Hai, why did you come out of seclusion? Did this matter need to alarm you? The sect leader's expression changed slightly before he smiled. Duanmu Tsanghai revealed a dry smile and said, Sect leader, if my old bones didn't come out for a walk, my Duanmu family would have been killed to the last man. The sect leader's expression changed slightly. He smiled and said, Old Hai, you're exaggerating. Why did you have to go to this extent? I've already heard about this matter. Firstly, my Duanmu family was also in the wrong. We were bewitched by others. However, Lu Ming was too ruthless. Not only did he kill them all, he even killed his way to the White Tiger Hall and killed more than 10 martial grandmasters. This matter cannot be forgotten. He can be spared from death, but he can't escape punishment. I suggest that he be expelled from the sect. Duanmu Tsanghai said. No way. Yan Lan took a step forward and firmly objected. This old man is so scheming. If we expel Lu Ming from the sect without the protection of the sect, they will definitely send people to kill Lu Ming. Mulin's eyes were filled with anxiety. Old Hai, Lu Ming has a young temperament and is easily impulsive. However, it is not necessary to expel him from the sect. The sect leader said. Aha, sect leader, it seems like you still cherish talents. However, you can also see that Lu Ming forcefully merged with the Demon King's soul. Even if he temporarily obtained strength, his foundation has been destroyed. He will no longer be a genius but a cripple. Duanmu Tsanghai smiled and said. The sect leader frowned and pondered. After all, the Duanmu family was at fault in this matter. Lu Ming was only taking revenge for his family. Many young disciples would definitely stand on Lu Ming's side. If they expelled Lu Ming from the sect like this, many disciples would be bitterly disappointed. Seeing the sect leader hesitate, Duanmu Tsanghai's expression gradually turned cold. He said slowly, Sect leader, my Duanmu family has been working hard for the Mystic Essence Sword sect for thousands of years. We have made countless contributions. Today so many of our people were killed by a junior disciple. If you don't expel him from the sect, then let my Duanmu family leave. Boom. This sentence was like a thunderbolt that exploded in everyone's mind, causing a commotion. This was a blatant threat. Duanmu Tsanghai was using the entire Duanmu family to threaten the sect leader. Despicable, shameless. Pangshi, Mulin's and the others growled. The sect leader's expression also changed greatly. He said solemnly, Old Hai, your words are too much. Although he said so, the sect leader had to take it seriously. In these years, the Duanmu family had become stronger and stronger. The entire White Tiger Hall had almost become their world. If they lost the Duanmu family, then the Mystic Essence Sword sect's vitality would be greatly damaged and their strength would weaken greatly. As the sect leader, he had to treat this seriously. Damn it, this old man. Yan Lan clenched his fists. Duanmu Pejuan and the other Duanmu family disciples sneered in their hearts. Let's see how Lu Ming will escape this calamity. After Duanmu Tsanghai finished speaking, a trace of scheming hung on the corner of his mouth. He narrowed his eyes slightly, waiting for the sect leader's answer. After pondering for a while, the sect leader took a deep breath. A bright light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and slowly said, "Lu Ming, although there is a reason for this matter, you have gone overboard by killing more than 10 people from the White Tiger Hall. They were all from the same sect. This is a serious crime." The sect leader's dignified voice spread throughout the hall. "Sect leader, you can't." Yanlan roared. Sect leader Lu Ming avenged his family. What is wrong with that? What crime is there? Mulins also shouted. If that's the case, then the Duanmu family can kill our family in the future and we can't take revenge. What kind of logic is this? Pang Shi also roared, his voice shaking the entire hall. Many disciples' eyes flickered. Obviously they agreed with Pang Shi's words. "Impudent, you dare to question the sect leader's decision. You are all guilty." Chapter 188. Duanmu Pajuan, what are you shouting for? Are you going to attack a junior? Yanlan glared at Duanmu Pajuan. "Dean?" Suddenly Lu Ming shouted. Yanlan looked at Lu Ming. The others also looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Yanlan and said, "Lu Ming, thanks Dean for your help." Then Lu Ming looked at Mulins and the others and said, "Senior Sister Mulins, Big Stone, Fengwu, you don't have to say more. I already understand this matter." After saying that, Lu Ming smiled indifferently. The sect leader's intention was clear. What he meant next was to expel him from the sect. "I'm still not important enough." Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Strength. Everything was still a matter of strength. He was too weak. If he was extremely powerful and surpassed the Duanmu family, why would the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader have this intention? Why would he punish him? Even if he destroyed the Duanmu family, the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader would not say a word. Although he had displayed an extremely powerful talent during this period of time, it was only now. After all, he was still young. Who knew what would happen in the future? Would he be like a shooting star, flashing and disappearing? There were too many examples of this in the world. Moreover, Duanmu Lin was also a peerless genius. Now that he had awakened a second-grade king bloodline, he had broken through to the martial ancestor realm at the age of 18. In many people's eyes, Duanmu Lin's future was definitely stronger than Lu Ming's. Therefore, in general, Lu Ming's value and weight were too far away from the Duanmu family. Therefore, the sect leader chose the Duanmu family in the end. This was the reality. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Then, he smiled indifferently and looked at the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader. His clear voice rang out, "Sect leader Lin, today I, Lu Ming, am withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword sect." His voice was calm and indifferent, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. Lu Ming was withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. "Lu Ming, no." Mulins shouted. "Senior brother Lu Ming." Pang Shi gritted his teeth, his eyes wide open. Sigh. Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang and the others sighed. Many of the Duanmu clan's disciples laughed loudly. Cold smiles appeared on Duanmu Tsanghai and Duanmu Pajuan's faces. "Senior Sister Mulins, Big Stone, you don't need to say anything more. I've already made up my mind." Rather than wait for him to be expelled from the sect, he might as well withdraw himself. Alas. Sect leader Lin Shui let out a long sigh and said, "Lu Ming, I, Lin Shui, guarantee that no one will dare to touch your family. I will guarantee their safety for 10 years. Elder Yu." Lin Shui shouted. "I'm here." Behind Lin Shui, a golden-robed elder cupped his fists and said, "Set off immediately and guard the Lu clan in Windfire City for 10 years. Ensure the safety of the Lu clan for 10 years. Kill anyone who dares to touch the Lu clan." Lin Shui instructed. Understood. The golden-robed elder cupped his fists and turned into a streak of light, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Tsanghai's old eyes narrowed slightly, a sharp light flashed across them. Duanmu Pajuan's face was slightly ugly. It was obvious that Lin Shui's action was to guard against the Duanmu clan. "Many thanks, sect leader Lin." Lu Ming stepped forward, cupping his fists to express his gratitude. He was sincerely thanking Lin Shui. He was originally worried about the Lu clan and his mother, but there was no need for that now. With a golden-robed elder guarding the Lu clan would be absolutely safe for the next 10 years. "Lu Ming, I've let you down. As the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader, I have to think for the sect." Lin Shui's sigh sounded in Lu Ming's ears. Of course, it was transmitted through voice transmission, no one else could hear it. Lu Ming nodded, not saying anything. He then flew towards Yanlan. He saluted and said, "Sect leader Lu Ming thanks you for your help. Lu Ming, you don't have to do this. I can protect you even if I have to risk my life." Yen Lan said. Lu Ming will remember sect leader's kindness. After saluting again, Lu Ming moved and came to Mulin's side. "Lu Ming. Senior brother Lu Ming." Mulins and the others shouted, their eyes filled with anger and reluctance. "Everyone take care in the future. I will come back to see you." Lu Ming said with a smile. "Senior brother Lu Ming, if you leave the sect I will follow you. I won't stay here anymore." Pang Shi shouted. "Big Stone, what nonsense are you talking about? Cultivate well in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. With your talent you will definitely achieve something in the future. Don't disappoint your parents." Lu Ming said, but his heart was filled with warmth. The best thing he had gained in the Mystic Essence Sword sect was to make a few true friends. But, Pang Shi's eyes were red, his fists were clenched tightly. "But what? Cultivate well. We will definitely meet again in the future and drink together." Lu Ming patted Pang Shi's shoulder and said solemnly. Pang Shi clenched his teeth and nodded solemnly. "Lu Ming, you leave the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Be careful. The Duanmu family will not let you off so easily." Mulins warned, her eyes filled with worry. Lu Ming nodded. Of course he was well aware of this. His relationship with the Duanmu clan was already irreconcilable. Suddenly Lu Ming smiled and whispered in Mulin's ear, "Senior Sister Mulins, don't forget that you still owe me a reward. I will ask for it the next time we meet." Then he took a deep breath. Mulins blushed and said softly, "As long as you are alive, everything is negotiable." "Everything is negotiable?" Is she hinting at something? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then he smiled and turned to leave. "Lu Ming, take care." Zhang Muyun strode out and cupped his fists at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, take care." Ling Kong, Duan Gang, Zhuirong, Cheng Feilwan, and the rest walked out and cupped their fists at Lu Ming. "Haha, everyone take care. Let's drink together next time." Lu Ming laughed heartily. "Next time? There will be a next time? Lu Ming, I will kill you." Duanmu Lin's eyes were cold and his voice was filled with killing intent. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Duanmu Lin with a sneer on his face. "Duanmu Lin, do you really think you are a genius? I, Lu Ming, swear today that I will take your head with my own strength within 2 years." "Aha, what a joke with your own strength. You will never be a match for me in this lifetime." Duanmu Lin revealed a mocking smile that was filled with disdain. "Also, we'll talk about it again if you have the life to live." Lin he's just talking nonsense. He forcefully merged with the Beast King's soul and will soon become a cripple. He is already at the end of his road. Duanmu Pajuan sneered. "Is that so? Old man, just you wait. Today I killed more than a dozen people from your Duanmu family. In the future I will definitely flatten the Duanmu family with the long spear in my hand." With that, Lu Ming let out a long laugh. Step by step, he stepped into the air and headed out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Under the sunlight, Lu Ming's young back view was filled with confidence, perseverance, unyielding spirit, and a heroic spirit that seemed to be ready to break through the heavens. This scene, this moment, this back view, was deeply imprinted in the minds of everyone present. Chapter 189. Lu Ming, I believe that nothing will happen to you. You will definitely be able to create a miracle and flatten the Duanmu family in the future. Mulins whispered. As for Feng Wu, he also looked at Lu Ming's departing figure with a complicated expression. This youth who was about the same age as him had joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect with her and participated in the examination together, but he had created too many miracles. Once she had a special feeling for Lu Ming, but as Lu Ming burst out with a dazzling light, she suppressed that feeling. She knew that the gap between them was too big. In the future it would only get bigger and bigger. Senior brother Lu Ming. Pang Shi clenched his fists tightly. His tiger eyes were filled with tears as his body trembled non-stop. Lu Ming, the world is unfair, but I believe that you will be able to break through all the obstacles. In the future, I will wait for you to discuss the Tao with me. Zhang Muyun muttered to himself. At the side, Zhuirong tightly grabbed onto Zhang Muyun's hands. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Lu Yao stared blankly at Lu Ming's departing figure. At this moment she didn't know why, but her heart was filled with complicated emotions. On one hand she hated that Lu Ming was just a trash that she had abandoned, but he actually had such a high talent. Furthermore, he had killed his father and crippled his brother. On the other hand, she was afraid that Lu Ming would really one day kill his way to the Duanmu family and destroy everything she had. Lu Ming, you should go to hell. In the end Lu Yao growled. Sigh. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, Lin Shui-yi, let out a long sigh. She turned around and took a step forward, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Canghai looked in the direction where Lu Ming had disappeared. His turbid old eyes flashed with a bright light. Pejuan, this child is too extraordinary. He is a peerless genius and must not be allowed to live. If he does not die, my heart will not be at ease. Duanmu Canghai said solemnly to Duanmu Pejuan. Duanmu Pejuan was greatly shocked. His father actually thought so highly of Lu Ming. Was Lu Ming's threat really that great? Father, don't worry. I will arrange it. Duanmu Pejuan bowed. That's great. Duanmu Canghai nodded, then took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. The crowd slowly dispersed. However, after today's events, Lu Ming's name was destined to shock everyone in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. His name would be engraved in the history of the sect. Lu Ming left the Mystic Essence Sword sect and quickly flew into the distance. Not long after, he rushed into a mountain forest. At this time, the aura on his body was rapidly declining. Although the Demon King's soul was powerful, it had been holding on for so long, and its energy had been depleted. Lu Ming's body trembled and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The backlash from the Demon King's soul is too strong. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, my body was nearly unable to withstand it and was severely injured. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, his bones were faintly cracked, his muscles were torn apart by a powerful force, and his skin was covered with a thick layer of blood scabs. However, it was not as serious as Duanmu Pejuan and the others had imagined. They had thought that Lu Ming was already crippled. As long as Lu Ming focused on recuperating, he would recover in a few days. This was the uniqueness of the spirit-devouring bloodline. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, his eyes shining brightly. In the end, I'm still too weak. The Duanmu family used their entire family to suppress the Mystic Essence Sword sect's sect master. Of course, I can't compare to an entire family. But that's only for now. Soon I will prove that I, alone, can suppress an entire family, an entire force. I want to become stronger. With a spear in hand, I can dominate the world. That's my goal. Lu Ming clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. There's also Autumn Moon. This time I can't bid farewell to her. If she knows that I left the Mystic Essence Sword sect, I wonder what she will do? That girl will probably cause a huge ruckus. Lu Ming thought to himself. Forget it. There will be a time when we meet again. The most important thing now is to recuperate. With a thought, Lu Ming appeared in the Temple of Paragon. He took out a healing pill, swallowed it, and started to recuperate. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries were 80% healed. Mother must be worried about me this time. I should go back home and see her. Then I'll go to the imperial capital and cultivate while thinking of a way to save my father. After planning the rest of his journey, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon. He found a small river in the forest and washed the blood off his body. He then changed into a black robe and put on a bamboo hat. He left the forest and headed toward Fenghua City. The black robe and bamboo hat were the same ones he had used before. He had always kept them in the Temple of Paragon. The Duanmu family wouldn't let him off so easily. Hence he had to be careful. On the way to Firestorm City, he changed directions a few times. He only returned to the Lu family 7 days later. Ming-er, you're fine. That's great. At the first sight of Lu Ming, Li Ping's tears rolled down her cheeks. She hugged Lu Ming tightly. Lu Ming had chased after Lu Yunxiong. During this period she had been on tenterhooks every day. She was afraid that something had happened to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. That's great. That's great. Li Ping nodded incessantly, looking at Lu Ming carefully. Then he chatted with Li Ping about the Lu family's situation. Previously, the 2nd to 6th branches of the Lu family had all surrendered to Lu Yunxiong. However, Lu Ming had returned. Not only did he kill all of Lu Yunxiong's men, but he even chased after Lu Yunxiong. Seeing those invincible experts lying in the Lu family's courtyard as corpses, the Lu family's members were terrified. It was unbelievable that Lu Ming was so strong. For the past few days, they had been waiting in fear for Lu Ming's return and his judgment. After chatting with Li Ping for a while, the remaining 3 core elders of the Lu family came to greet him. The 3 of us greet the young lord. When the 3 core elders saw Lu Ming, they bowed and greeted him. Elders, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly helped the 3 core elders up. He was touched and respectful that the core elders still stood by the Lu family and Li Ping's side at the moment of life and death. The three core elders looked at Lu Ming with undisguised joy in their eyes. Lu Ming's combat strength was so strong that he could chase after Lu Yunxiong and return alive. This meant that the Lu family would rise soon. They were naturally happy. "Young lord, the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches are waiting outside," one of the core elders said. "Oh, then let them wait. Come, 3 elders, let's have some tea and chat." Lu Ming smiled and invited the 3 core elders to take a seat. Then Lu Ming asked about the Lu family situation and the details of how Lu Yunxiong came to the Lu family. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. "Go, let them in." Lu Ming ordered a maid. The maid acknowledged and went out. Soon 5 middle-aged men came in. These 5 middle-aged men were the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches and the elders of the Lu family. "Greetings, young lord." Chapter 190. Lu Ming sat upright in his seat and accepted the bow calmly. He glanced at them and sneered, "I'm your young master? Your master should be Lu Yunxiong, right?" The faces of the 5 branch leaders paled and one of them said, "Young lord, you've misunderstood. That day the force Lu Yunxiong brought with him was too strong. If we resisted, we would have been annihilated. If that happened, the Lu family would be finished." "Yes, young master. We surrendered to Lu Yunxiong only as a temporary measure. We wanted to preserve our lives and wait for your return." "Oh? Is that so?" Lu Ming looked at them with a faint smile. He did not speak but picked up his teacup and drank slowly. The 5 branch leaders looked at each other. They did not know what Lu Ming was thinking and felt uneasy. At that time, the Mystic Essence Sword sect had already informed them of my death, right? Waiting for my return? Did they already know that I was not dead? Lu Ming asked calmly. The 5 of them began to sweat and looked at each other. Then they braced themselves and said, "Young master, you are a genius. How could you die so easily? We already guessed that you were not dead. That's why we decided to take advantage of you." "I see. You're all very resourceful. You can even tell someone's fortune," Lu Ming said calmly and continued to drink his tea. The 5 branch leaders' faces turned red, but they could only grit their teeth and keep quiet. The atmosphere seemed to have frozen. Lu Ming drank his tea. The 3 core elders and Li Ping did not speak. The 5 branch leaders could only stand there and did not dare to make a sound. The current Lu Ming was no longer the useless young master from back then. His combat power was unparalleled and his cultivation had reached an incredible level. Killing them was easier than killing an ant. Unknowingly he had formed a very powerful aura. They did not even dare to breathe loudly in front of Lu Ming. "Lu Yunxiong has been killed by me." Suddenly Lu Ming's voice sounded. "What?" Not only were the 5 branch masters shocked, but even the 3 core elders were shocked. "I've already killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger Hall. Therefore don't think that you're lucky. This is the fate of those who betray the Lu clan," Lu Ming said coldly. Everyone gasped. Lu Ming had actually killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger courtyard and still managed to return alive. Just how capable was he? It was already hard for them to imagine. At the same time, the 5 branch leaders were terrified. They looked at each other and actually knelt down together, saying, "Young lord, we were really foolish that day. Please forgive us, young lord. We will wholeheartedly assist young lord in reviving the Lu family. If we disobey, we will die a horrible death." "Why can't I believe it?" Lu Ming looked at the 5 branch masters with a faint smile. The cold sweat on the faces of the 5 branch masters became denser and dripped down continuously. "How about this, all of you swear an oath on your inner demons and I'll believe you," Lu Ming said indifferently. "An oath on your inner demons." The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically. An oath on one's inner demons was to swear to one's own heart, using one's blood essence as a stepping stone. Once a martial artist made an oath on his inner demons and went against it in the future, it would be easy for the inner demons to flare up during cultivation, resulting in chi deviation and death. "What? If you don't want to make the oath, I won't feel at ease leaving you here." Lu Ming's voice turned cold. The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically and they quickly said, "Yes, we'll make the oath." Then the 5 of them swore an oath on their inner demons. Lu Ming smiled and said, "In the future, you will know that you made the right choice. Now you may leave." The 5 branch masters quickly excused themselves. "Elders, the Lu clan's strength has been greatly reduced after a series of twists and turns. However, quality is more important than quantity. I have some secret manuals here, take them and cultivate. Lu Ming's phone lit up and a stack of books appeared on the table. Secret manuals on cultivation and martial techniques? The three core elders were confused, and they each picked up a book and flipped through it. As soon as they opened the book, their eyes widened in shock. High-grade yellow class martial techniques. Mine is also a high-grade yellow class martial technique. Mine too. The three core elders exclaimed in unison. Elders, here are 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques. Take them and cultivate. You can also choose the best seedlings in the clan and teach them. Lu Ming smiled. 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques? The 3 core elders sucked in a breath of cold air. The Lu clan only had 1 high-grade yellow class martial technique, and it was regarded as the clan's ultimate technique. Ordinary people were not qualified to cultivate it. The Lu clan did not have many low-grade yellow class martial techniques, only 6 or 7 of them. Now, Lu Ming actually took out so many secret manuals in one go. If the Lu clan's disciples cultivated them, their strength would rise quickly. Thank you, young lord. The 3 core elders thanked Lu Ming, their bodies trembling with excitement. Elders, you don't have to thank me. Since I am the young lord of the Lu clan, this is what I should do. Lu Ming said. In the Dongyi clan's ruins, Lu Ming had obtained more than 30 yellow class martial technique manuals. These manuals were useless to him, so he could only sell them. It was better to keep them in the Lu clan and increase their strength. There's more. Lu Ming's mind moved and a few more jade bottles appeared on the table. Inside these jade bottles were some medicinal pills. Some could heal injuries, some could expel poison, and some could increase the cultivation of martial soldier or martial mentor. They were all obtained by Lu Ming from the enemies he killed. They were useless to Lu Ming, but to most of the Lu clan's Meridian Opening Realm and Martial Soldier Realm martial artists, they were of great use. Take these pills. As for how to divide them, you can decide. Lu Ming said. Young lord, if you give them to the clan, what about yourself? One of the core elders asked. Take them. I have no use for them. Lu Ming smiled. Good. We'll take them. We'll distribute them to the disciples who are loyal to the Lu clan and increase the clan's strength. Another core elder said excitedly. The 3 of them carefully put away the pills. Li Ping was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth when she saw Lu Ming take out so many treasures. The 3 core elders bid farewell to Lu Ming. They were in a hurry to go back and discuss how to use these treasures to increase the Lu clan's strength as soon as possible. Lu Ming stayed in the Lu clan for 7 days. After 7 days, Lu Ming decided to bid farewell to Li Ping. He couldn't hide in the Lu clan forever. There were some things he had to face. Moreover, he had to investigate Lu Yuntian's whereabouts as soon as possible. In the main residence's courtyard. Ming go out. Be careful. Li Ping didn't urge Lu Ming to stay. She only reminded Lu Ming to be careful. A man's ambition was to travel far. Moreover, a genius like Lu Ming couldn't be trapped in one place. That would only bind him. Li Ping knew this very well, so she didn't urge him to stay. Mother, don't worry. Ming will be fine. Lu Ming said. Afterward, Lu Ming pondered and hesitated. After a while, he said, Mom, Ming has something to tell you. Chapter 191. In the past, he chose to keep it a secret as he was worried about Li Ping. However, after experiencing so many things during this period of time, he understood a lot more. If he told Li Ping this news, although she would be worried, there would still be hope in her heart. No matter what happened, there would always be a glimmer of hope in her heart. As long as there was hope, it was enough. What news? Li Ping asked curiously when she saw Lu Ming's solemn expression. Father, he might not be dead. Lu Ming said seriously. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Ping's body suddenly trembled and her eyes widened. Then Li Ping's body trembled more and more violently. Her eyes flashed with strong hope as she said in a trembling voice, Ming? What did you say? Mother, I said that father might not be dead. Lu Ming repeated. Not dead? Not dead? Ming, is that true? Slowly, Li Ping revealed an emotional expression as tears flowed down her cheeks uncontrollably. Then she asked again, Ming, where did you get this news from? Is it true? If your father is not dead, where has he been all these years? Mother, it's like this. Then Lu Ming told Li Ping about his encounter with Zhou Linshan in detail. So it's him. He sent me a spiritual sword and a pendant back then. I once asked him about Yun Tian's whereabouts, but he told me that Yun Tian was dead. It turns out that he was lying back then. In that case, Yun Tian is really still alive in this world? Li Ping said excitedly. Her eyes were filled with hope. Yes, mother. Now that father might be in the hands of the Shifang sword sect, I plan to go to the imperial capital to investigate father's whereabouts. Ming, I heard that the Shifang sword sect is the strongest sect in the Blazing Sun Empire. You must be careful and cautious. Li Ping warned. She was very worried. Mother, don't worry. Ming will not clash with the Shifang sword sect now. I'm just investigating. Nothing will happen. Lu Ming said. Li Ping was relieved. Mother, don't worry. As long as father is still alive, Ming will definitely save father and let our family reunite. Lu Ming said firmly. Ming, mother believes in you. Li Ping smiled. Lu Ming nodded heavily and said, Mother, Ming will leave now. Go. Lu Ming bid farewell to Li Ping and left. Walking out of the Lu mansion, Lu Ming looked towards the back of the Lu mansion. He pondered for a moment before he made his way there. Behind the Lu residence was an orchard filled with fruit trees. Among them there were also small bridges, flowing water, pavilions and lakes. The environment was very elegant. Lu Ming walked into the orchard and came to a small lake. Beside the lake there was an old man fishing. This old man was none other than the golden-robed elder sent by the mystic essence sword sect master, Lin Shui, to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming, your senses are really sharp. When I was cultivating for the past 2 days, you were able to sense even the slightest fluctuation. The golden-robed elder smiled. Lu Ming, thank you for coming to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bowed. You don't have to thank me. I'm just following orders. Moreover, this is what you deserve. After all, the sect has wronged you. The golden-robed elder sighed. Lu Ming was silent and did not say anything. The golden-robed elder pondered for a moment and sighed. Lu Ming, I hope you don't blame the sect master. In fact, he was put in a difficult position. As the sect master, he has to put the mystic essence sword sect's interests first. Senior, I'm not blaming anyone. In this world, the weak are prey to the strong. If I want to blame someone, I can only blame myself for being too weak. However, sooner or later, I will surpass all forces and families. Heaven will no longer be able to cover my eyes. Lu Ming said. It seemed like he was talking to the old man, but it also seemed like he was talking to himself. The old man was stunned. He seemed to be moved. No matter what, Lu Ming still wants to thank you, senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists again and bowed to the old man. He then turned around and strode away. Looking at Lu Ming's back, the old man was in a daze. After a long time, he let out a long sigh. Sect master, perhaps you made the wrong choice this time. After leaving the orchard, Lu Ming did not leave Firestorm City immediately. Instead, he found a secluded place and entered the Temple of Paragon to cultivate. Time passed and night fell. Lu Ming finally left the Temple of Paragon. He put on his black robe and bamboo hat and left the city. Then, he headed in the direction of the imperial capital. The imperial capital was located at the center of the Burning Sun Empire. It was more than 10,000 miles away from Firestorm City. Even with Lu Ming's current movement technique, it would take him more than 20 days to reach the imperial capital. The first 3 days were calm and peaceful. However, on the evening of the 4th day, Lu Ming, who was in a hurry, suddenly stopped. He felt a few murderous intents looming over him. Someone wanted to kill him. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming stomped his foot and soared into the sky. Just as Lu Ming soared into the sky, a sharp and cold sword chi pierced the place where Lu Ming had been standing. With a sizzling sound, the sword chi left a bottomless hole in the ground. Swoosh, swoosh. Then 7 or 8 figures flashed out from all directions like ghosts. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the room. There were 8 figures in total. They were all wearing black robes and masks on their heads. They were wearing silver wolf masks. Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Lu Ming immediately realized that this was the Shadow Wolf Pavilion, one of the top 4 assassin organizations in the Burning Sun Empire. The Silver Wolf masks meant that they were Silver Wolf assassins of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. 5 6th-grade martial masters and 3 7th-grade martial masters. The Shadow Wolf Pavilion really thinks highly of me, Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Kill? Kill. 8 murderous cries and 8 extremely sharp sword chi pierced towards Lu Ming. Let's see who will kill who? Lu Ming roared. At the moment of life and death, Lu Ming directly activated his bloodline. At the same time, an ancient shield appeared on his body. Explode. Lu Ming ignored the attacks of the other 7. His long spear turned into a ray of light and shot towards a 6th-grade martial master assassin of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Ping ping ping. 7 consecutive attacks landed on Lu Ming's body. 4 of them were blocked by the shield. The shield buzzed and vibrated continuously, but it was not broken in the end. However, a shield could only cover a limited area and could only block one direction. 3 more sword chi landed on Lu Ming's body. 50% of the attacks were absorbed by the spirit-devouring bloodline, but the remaining power still made Lu Ming's body tremble. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming's attack also exploded. The 6th-grade martial master expert did not even have time to scream before he was killed by a spear. Devour. A huge devouring power appeared and devoured the blood essence of the assassin. Damn it, didn't they say that Lu Ming merged with the Demon King's soul and was half crippled? How can it be so terrifying? It seems that the information was wrong. Let's avoid that shield and directly attack Lu Ming's body. Once the time of his bloodline is up, we can kill him. Chapter 192. Chi. 7 silhouettes flickered rapidly. They were like 7 shadow wolves. Their speed was extremely fast. As their figures flashed, streams of sharp and ruthless sword chi avoided Lu Ming's ancient shield and stabbed towards Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming shouted, ignoring the attacks from all directions. He only targeted a 6th-layer martial master assassin and attacked with all his strength. The assassin was shocked and quickly retreated. However, Lu Ming was even faster. He used the high air steps to the extreme and his body seemed to be weightless. Landslide. Lu Ming's long spear smashed down heavily from above. 100-meter-long spear light as thick as a water tank smashed towards the assassin. Bang. Although the assassin tried his best to block, he was still sent flying and blood spurted out of his mouth. Chasing thunder. With a sizzling sound, the spear light pierced through the assassin's heart like lightning. Another person was killed. However, in the process Lu Ming was hit 7 or 8 times. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, his face was still pale and blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. He was injured. At this moment, his aura was rapidly declining. It was time for his bloodline to erupt. It's time for his bloodline to erupt. The remaining assassins were overjoyed. Just now, Lu Ming was like an undying demon god. He ignored the attacks and killed 2 people in a row, which made their hearts tremble. He's already injured and his strength has weakened. He can't escape. A 7th-layer martial master assassin shouted. The figures of the remaining 5 flashed and they surrounded Lu Ming. You were sent by the Duanmu family, right? Lu Ming suddenly asked. Why do you care who sent us? We're here to take your life anyway. An assassin sneered, his voice cold. Lu Ming sneered. Although the other party did not go easy on him, he was sure that it was the Duanmu family. Other than the Duanmu family who would want to kill him. He guessed that he had been targeted not long after coming out of Firestorm City. Moreover, when Lu Ming went to the Mystic Essence Sword sect to participate in the assessment, he was assassinated by the Shadow Wolf Pavilion in Mystic Sword City. At that time his only enemy was the Duanmu clan. Lu Ming would never believe that it wasn't the Duanmu clan. Speak, what is the relationship between the Duanmu clan and your Shadow Wolf Pavilion? Or perhaps, what is the relationship between your Shadow Wolf Pavilion and the Mystic Essence Sword sect? Lu Ming asked coldly. You're about to die, yet you still have so many questions. However, you'd better go and ask the King of Hell. Go. A 7th-level martial master assassin coldly shouted and charged towards Lu Ming. The other 5 people also launched their attacks. Sword chi was like a net covering Lu Ming. Whoosh. Lu Ming didn't take it head-on. Instead he used high air steps to dodge. However, the other party was a top-notch assassin with a tacit understanding of each other. Lu Ming simply could not dodge all of their attacks. If not for the protection of the ancient shield, he would have been injured long ago. Even so, Lu Ming was still surrounded by danger. Lu Ming's current cultivation was at the peak of the 3rd-level martial master realm. Without activating his bloodline, he could fight against a 7th-level martial master expert and even suppress them. However, the other party had 3 7th-level martial masters and 3 6th-level martial masters. With their tacit understanding of each other, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. 6 streams of sword chi completely enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming's long spear moved horizontally as he fought with them. Bang! A 6th-level martial master assassin was swept by the long spear and his body was sent flying 100 meters away. His face was pale. However, Lu Ming also paid a price. There was an additional sword wound on his body and blood flowed out. Refine for me. Lu Ming roared. In his body, he had just devoured the blood essence of 2 6th-level martial master assassins. At this moment he was fighting and refining it at the same time. He wanted to break through to the next realm. His cultivation was originally at the peak of the 3rd-level martial master realm. He was only a step away from the 4th-level martial master realm. As long as he could break through, his battle strength would increase greatly and he would be able to fight back. However, it was not so easy to break through to the next realm after reaching the martial master realm. Boom. The true chi in his body was rumbling, but it was difficult to break through in a short period of time. Not enough energy. I have to kill another person and devour another person's blood essence before I can break through. Lu Ming roared in his heart. Kill. He used all his strength to pounce towards the injured assassin. However, how could the other assassins let him do as he wished? They attacked him with all their might. Not long after, 2 more wounds appeared on Lu Ming's body. If he had not dodged in time, he would have been split in half. However, he got the result he wanted after getting injured. That 6th-level martial master assassin was once again swept by Lu Ming's spear. This spear was even more domineering. Half of the opponent's body almost exploded as he flew out. He was already half dead. Die. Lu Ming dashed forward without a care for anything else. Puchi. Lu Ming paid the price of another wound, but he also finished off that 6th-level martial master assassin with a single spear. Devour. The spirit-devouring bloodline erupted with a powerful devouring power and devoured the opponent's blood essence in an instant. Rumble. Suddenly, waves of energy emerged from the bloodline. Break for me. Lu Ming roared in his heart as he dodged the remaining assassin's attacks with all his might. After a dozen more moves, Lu Ming's injuries became more serious and the situation became more and more unfavorable for him. Boom. At this moment, a rumble suddenly erupted from his body. Lu Ming's aura instantly surged. He had broken through to the 4th-level martial master realm. Boom. Lu Ming swept out with his spear and collided with a 7th-level martial master assassin. The long spear and the battle sword clashed. The assassin's face suddenly changed. His battle sword was bent, and his body was sent flying backwards with a swish sound. How is it possible to break through to the next realm? An assassin roared. Now let's see who will kill who. Lu Ming roared. His aura was wild as he swept out with his long spear. The spear light was like a mountain. Bang, bang. 2 6th-level martial master assassins were directly sent flying. They slid on the mountain for dozens of meters and were already half dead, unable to move. Monster, what a monster. Let's go. The remaining 3 7th-level martial master experts' faces changed. Without thinking, they actually turned around and ran. Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he stared at one of them and chased after him. Ah! The assassin who was being chased by Lu Ming roared. He was shocked because he realized that his speed was not as fast as Lu Ming's. Soon Lu Ming caught up. I'll fight you to the death. The assassin roared and attacked Lu Ming. Unfortunately, he was not Lu Ming's opponent at all. Now, Lu Ming had already broken through to the 4th-level martial master realm. Even if he faced an 8th-level martial master, he could still fight, let alone him. Completely suppressed. This assassin used all his strength and could only resist a dozen moves before he was pierced through by Lu Ming's spear. Then Lu Ming devoured the assassin's blood essence and turned around to kill the other 2 6th-level martial master assassins and devoured their blood essence. Storage ring. Lu Ming realized that each of these assassins had a storage ring. Lu Ming took it without hesitation. Then, his figure moved and headed towards the deep mountains and forests. After running for more than 30 miles in one breath, Lu Ming stopped. His body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Although he had achieved great results in the battle just now, his injuries were not light either. Duanmu family, if I, Lu Ming, don't flatten you, I swear I'm not human. Chapter 193. After that, Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and started to refine the essence blood to heal himself. At this moment, on a mountain peak 100 miles away from Lu Ming, a black-robed man with a golden wolf mask stood with his hands behind his back. He was exuding a cold, murderous aura. He was the golden wolf assassin from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, 2 figures rushed toward the mountain peak as fast as lightning. When they arrived in front of the man with the golden wolf mask, they immediately knelt down. What happened? Where are the others? The man with the golden wolf mask asked coldly. Sir, the others are all dead. They were killed by Lu Ming. The information we received was wrong. Lu Ming is not half crippled. One of the silver wolf assassins said. Not crippled? Then can he still use his beast soul? The golden wolf assassin asked. I don't think so. Although he killed so many of our men, Lu Ming's injuries are not light. He didn't use his beast soul even in such a situation. I think he has used up all his beast souls. One of the silver wolf assassins guessed. Good. It's good that he doesn't have any beast souls. Lu Ming is dead for sure. The two of you follow me and go after Lu Ming. The golden wolf assassin ordered. Previously he did not attack together because he was afraid that Lu Ming still had beast souls, so he sent someone to test him first. Now that it was confirmed that Lu Ming did not have any beast souls, he was going to attack. Yes. The two silver wolf assassins answered. With the sound of something breaking through the air, the three figures disappeared without a trace. In the Temple of Paragon, Lu Ming was refining the essence blood with all his might. Fortunately, most of his injuries were external, so it was relatively easy to treat them. When the essence blood turned into rolling energy and was refined by Lu Ming, his injuries healed quickly. His muscles wriggled and his wounds began to heal. Soon Lu Ming's wounds began to scab. This was also because Lu Ming's physical body had reached the complete second grade. Ordinary people would not be able to do this. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries had completely healed, and his cultivation had even improved. I'm afraid that the Shadow Wolf Pavilion will not give up so easily. They will definitely send people after me. I cannot take the main road to the imperial capital this time. I will travel along the desolate mountain range. I can hunt demonic beasts along the way and raise my cultivation. I can also practice martial techniques. Lu Ming fell into deep thought. After that, he walked out of the Temple of Paragon and hid his aura. He walked through the forest towards the imperial capital. But not long after, Lu Ming felt a terrifying pressure coming from afar. Whoosh! A beam of rainbow light pierced through the air. Within the rainbow light was a black-robed man wearing a golden wolf mask. Martial Ancestor Realm Expert, Shadow Wolf Pavilion's Golden Wolf Assassin. Lu Ming's expression changed greatly. The Golden Wolf Assassins of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion were all experts at the Martial Ancestor Realm and above. They were not people that Lu Ming could defeat. Go! Without any hesitation, Lu Ming executed the airborne steps to the maximum and ran towards the depths of the forest. Haha, Lu Ming, I don't know what method you used to hide for 2 days. But now you can't hide anymore and have shown yourself. Let's see where you can run to this time. The Golden Wolf Assassin let out an ear-piercing laugh. Lu Ming ran wildly. He stepped on the trees and his body shot forward like a bolt of lightning. He was so fast that he looked like a phantom. However, the Golden Wolf Assassin was a Martial Ancestor Realm expert and could walk in the air. His speed was beyond the realm of mortals. Lu Ming could not shake him off at all. Die. Whoosh. A beam of sword chi pierced through the air and charged towards Lu Ming. It was fast, ruthless, and extremely powerful. Dodge, I have to dodge. Lu Ming growled. His body moved continuously and he barely managed to dodge the sword. But he was also hit by the sword and a part of his sleeve disappeared. You actually managed to dodge my sword. What about now? The Golden Wolf Assassin sneered and waved the combat sword in his hand. Whoosh whoosh, there were more than 10 beams of sword chi. Each of them was extremely powerful and unstoppable. Ancient shield. Lu Ming shouted and an ancient shield appeared. Clang. The sword chi slashed on the shield and the shield shook violently. Then it exploded. Lu Ming's body was also sent flying dozens of meters backward. He crashed into a tree that was so thick that it would take one person to hug it. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. 2 figures rushed over. They were the 2 silver wolf assassins. Lu Ming, you won't be able to escape this time. One of the silver wolf assassins laughed loudly. Shadow Wolf Pavilion, I don't care where you came from. As long as I, Lu Ming, am alive, I will destroy your Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Lu Ming growled and continued to run into the depths of the forest. You want to destroy my Shadow Wolf Pavilion? How naive. The Golden Wolf Assassin sneered and continued to chase him in the sky. Behind the golden mask, there was a cold look in his eyes. He was looking for an opportunity to kill with a single strike. Facing a genius like Lu Ming, even someone as powerful as him didn't dare to underestimate him. Otherwise, he would be the one at a disadvantage. This is the time. The Golden Wolf Assassin's eyes suddenly lit up. The combat sword in his hand glowed and a bright and sharp sword chi pierced out. The Golden Wolf assassin used all his strength in this attack. It was unbelievably fast. Moreover, it seemed like he had calculated Lu Ming's running route. It seemed like Lu Ming was going to collide with the sword chi. Oh no! Lu Ming's heart beat rapidly and his hair stood on end. At this moment he could feel the aura of death. It was as if the Grim Reaper was pointing his scythe at him. I can't dodge it. I have to block it. I can't die yet. Lu Ming screamed in his heart. His eyes were bloodshot. In an instant, the power of his bloodline erupted. At the same time, an ancient shield appeared. Explode! Lu Ming stabbed out with his long spear. The tip of the spear emitted a bright light. It was as if there was a bright star at the tip of Lu Ming's spear. A terrifying wave burst out. This was the strongest move that Lu Ming could perform at the moment. It blasted towards the sword chi above his head. Suddenly, a white light flew out from the depths of the forest. It was like a flying immortal. It also blasted towards the sword chi of the Golden Wolf assassin. Boom! Lu Ming's attack combined with the white light and collided with the sword chi of the Golden Wolf assassin. Violent energy shot out in all directions. The trees, flowers, and other things in the forest were instantly crushed into pieces. Lu Ming felt a powerful surge of energy. His body flew back dozens of meters. However, he also blocked the Golden Wolf assassin's attack. Who helped me? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Oh, how dare you block me? Are you courting death? The Golden Wolf assassin roared. In the depths of the forest, a white figure flashed out. The person who came was actually a young woman. She wore a white dress. Her skin was like jade and she was extremely beautiful. Seeing this woman, Lu Ming was shocked. He couldn't help but blurt out, "Xian Yanqing, it's you." The young woman's eyes flashed. She looked at Lu Ming and shouted, "Come with me." After saying that, her figure flashed. Like a fairy from the ninth heaven, she ran towards the depths of the forest. Chapter 194. You want to leave? None of you can leave today. The Golden Wolf assassin roared and chased after them. Below, the two Silver Wolf assassins also quickly followed behind. In a dozen breaths, they had covered a few hundred meters and arrived at a purple bamboo forest. At this point, the young woman stopped. "Xian Yanqing, leave quickly. The opponent is a martial arts grandmaster. Even if we join forces, we won't be a match for him." Lu Ming exclaimed softly. "I'm not Xian Yanqing." The young woman suddenly glanced at Lu Ming and said coldly. Lu Ming was stunned. Not Xian Yanqing? How could it be? She looked exactly like Xian Yanqing. How could she not be him? What was this girl up to again? Wait a minute. Something's not right. This woman is different from Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming took a closer look. Indeed, although this woman looked exactly like Xian Yanqing, there were still some differences. First of all, this woman should be slightly older than Xian Yanqing by 1 or 2 years. Xian Yanqing looked younger than Lu Ming, while this woman was about the same age as Lu Ming. Also, their temperaments were completely different. Xian Yanqing was mischievous like a little witch. This woman, on the other hand, had a calm expression, like an otherworldly fairy. How could there be two people who look so similar in this world? Lu Ming sighed inwardly. Swoosh! The Golden Wolf assassin flew above the purple bamboo forest. Behind him, the two Silver Wolf assassins also flew over. Haha, so it's such a beautiful woman. Good. I can kill Lu Ming and have a good time. When the Golden Wolf assassin saw the young woman's face, his eyes lit up and revealed a lustful look. He secretly sighed that his luck was really good. Chasing Lu Ming, he actually encountered such a peerless beauty. This trip was not in vain. You're courting death. The Golden Wolf assassin's words caused the young woman's eyes to emit a cold, killing intent. Her originally cold face became even colder. Demon slaughtering formation, rise. Suddenly the young woman shouted softly. Her hands formed a seal, and inscriptions appeared out of thin air and flew into the purple bamboo forest. In the purple bamboo forest there was a soft sound. Then rays of white light shot up into the sky. These white rays of light converged in the air, forming white sword chi. As the sword chi swam, a shocking killing intent filled the air. The Great Inscription Formation. So you set up the Great Inscription Formation here. But even if there is a Great Inscription Formation, so what? What can you, a great martial master, do to me? The Golden Wolf assassin sneered. Demon Slaying Formation. Slay demons and eliminate demons. The young woman shouted and waved her hands. In the air, 3 streaks of white sword chi danced and whistled towards the Golden Wolf assassin. Demon slaughtering array, let's see who you can slaughter. Break. The golden wolf assassin slashed out with his sword, and 3 resplendent sword chi blasted towards the white sword chi. Boom, boom, boom. There was an explosion, but it did not destroy the young woman's great inscription formation as the golden wolf assassin had expected. The sword chi collided and dissipated together. How can she be so strong? The golden wolf assassin was shocked. However, the young woman waved her hand again. In the purple bamboo forest, the white light became brighter. In an instant, more than 10 streaks of white sword chi condensed in the air. Oh no, you guys retreat. The golden wolf assassin's face changed greatly, and he shouted at the 2 silver wolf assassins. It's too late. The young woman's voice seemed to be emotionless and incomparably cold. As her voice fell, the white sword chi in the air also crossed the void. With 2 screams, the 2 silver wolf assassins of the 7th level martial mentor realm were pierced through by the sword chi and killed in the forest. At the same time, more sword chi rushed towards the golden wolf assassins. Damn it! The golden wolf assassin roared. Blood flashed on his body, and a black giant wolf appeared. There were 8 blood-colored chakras on the giant wolf. This was the 2nd bloodline awakening of the golden wolf assassin. The 2nd bloodline was a level 8 ordinary bloodline. The golden wolf assassin's combat strength increased greatly, and in an instant he slashed out more than 10 times. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, in the sky sword chi crisscrossed. Streaks of black sword chi and white sword chi intersected, and the terrifying sword chi shot out in all directions. Demon slaying formation, god slaying. The young woman shouted softly. Her body emitted a dazzling white light, and she looked incomparably holy. In the purple bamboo forest, the power of the inscription formation was even stronger. Streaks of sword chi seemed to appear endlessly, and they blasted towards the golden wolf assassin. Suddenly there was a scream. Blood splattered, and one of the golden wolf assassin's arms was cut off. The golden wolf assassin roared. He became one with his sword, and turned into a dazzling sword light that soared into the sky, out of the attack range of the inscription formation. Damn it, I'll remember today's big grudge. The 2 of you will face the endless pursuit of my shadow wolf pavilion. The golden wolf assassin roared, filled with endless killing intent. Then he turned into a streak of light and disappeared in the sky. What a pity. The young woman sighed softly, as if it was a pity that she didn't kill the golden wolf assassin. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was shocked. This woman's methods were really shocking. She actually used an inscription formation to cut off one of the golden wolf assassin's arms. Although the golden wolf assassin's cultivation was at the 1st martial ancestor realm. But this woman's cultivation was only at the 6th martial master realm. The gap between a martial grandmaster realm and a martial ancestor realm was huge, and it was difficult to cross. What a terrifying formation. What is this woman's background? Lu Ming thought to himself. Alright, the other party has left. You should leave too. The young woman looked at Lu Ming with her beautiful eyes. Her voice was still cold, like a fairy that couldn't be approached. Miss, why did you save me? Lu Ming asked. He was a little curious. He had never met this woman before, so why would she spend so much effort to save him, and even fight a martial ancestor realm expert? He didn't think that he had such great charm, and looking at the young woman's expression, it didn't seem like it was because of his charm. Woo-woo. At this moment, a flash of lightning appeared in the depths of the purple bamboo forest. No, that wasn't lightning. It was a leopard, a lightning leopard. Lightning leopard. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He remembered that when he had just joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect and participated in the assessment, he had released a lightning leopard cub and obtained a little lightning leopard blood. Although the lightning leopard in front of him wasn't a cub, it was very young and was quite similar to the lightning leopard cub back then. Woo-woo. The lightning leopard stared at Lu Ming and barked a few times. Then it approached Lu Ming and rubbed against Lu Ming's thigh. You are the one from back then? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Woo-woo, the lightning leopard nodded. It was really the lightning leopard cub from back then. What a coincidence. If you hadn't saved little lightning once, why would I save you this time? Chapter 195. The young woman's voice was very cold. She continued, if little Shan hadn't recognized you just now, I wouldn't have saved you. This is good too. You saved little Shan once and I saved you once. From now on we don't owe each other anything. Lu Ming was speechless. This woman was too arrogant and cold. At the same time, Lu Ming also understood that the reason why she had saved him was because the lightning leopard had discovered him. No matter what, it's all because you saved me this time. Lu Ming is grateful. I'll take my leave then. Lu Ming cupped his fists and then turned to leave. Wait a minute. Unexpectedly, the young woman called out. Lu Ming turned and said, May I know what's the matter, miss? I heard you call me Xian Yanqing just now. You're Xian Yanqing's friend, right? The young woman asked. Friend? Lu Ming couldn't help but think of his relationship with Xian Yanqing. It was already good enough that Xian Yanqing didn't attack him when she saw him. How could she be his friend? Lu Ming shook his head and said, I've only met Xian Yanqing once. We can't be considered friends. I don't care if you're her friend or not. The next time you see her, help me pass her a message. Tell her not to keep thinking about surpassing me because it's just a waste of time. It's impossible. The young woman said, her voice filled with confidence and a sense of superiority. Seeing this expression, Lu Ming didn't know why, but he felt uncomfortable in his heart. May I know what's the relationship between you and Xian Yanqing? If I meet her, I'll definitely pass on the message. Lu Ming said indifferently. His voice also became a little cold. I'm Xian Yanjuan. I'm her elder sister. The young woman said. As expected, no wonder they look exactly the same. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. But other than their looks, the two sisters were too different in other aspects. Alright, the Shadow Wolf Pavilion will definitely send people here. I'm leaving. You should leave too. Xian Yanjuan said indifferently. Miss, why don't you leave first? I'll leave after a while. Lu Ming said. Suit yourself. Xian Yanjuan said indifferently. From beginning to end, he didn't even look at the two silver wolf assassins' corpses. She turned around and floated away. Her white dress fluttered in the wind, making her look like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Is the item left behind by a 7th-level martial master not even worth mentioning in her eyes? But I won't miss it. Lu Ming walked towards the bodies of the two silver wolf assassins. After devouring their blood essences, he took off their storage rings. With a flash, Lu Ming left the place and headed towards the depths of the forest. In the forest, ancient trees towered into the sky. Lu Ming walked for more than 100 miles. Then, with a thought, he entered the Temple of Paragon and began to refine the blood essence. Not long after, the meridian blood of the two 7th-level martial grandmasters was completely refined by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation had also reached the mid-7th-level martial grandmaster. After refining the essence blood, Lu Ming started to organize the storage rings he got from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. There were a total of 8 rings. In the end, he got more than 60 million taels of silver. The silver was just a small number. The most important thing was the spirit crystals. After sorting them out, there were more than 23,000 pieces. Adding the previous ones, Lu Ming had nearly 40,000 spirit crystals. Other than the silver and spirit crystals, the rest were all miscellaneous items. They weren't of much help to Lu Ming. Is this a disguise mask? Suddenly, Lu Ming found a disguise mask among the clothes and miscellaneous items. The Shadow Wolf Pavilion was an assassin organization. They often had to disguise themselves to assassinate people. It was normal for them to have a disguise on them. Lu Ming looked at it carefully and found that the quality of the disguise was very good. It should be made from the skin of some kind of demonic beast. Lu Ming put the disguise on his face. It didn't feel like he was wearing anything because it was very thin. I wonder how effective it is. Let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming went out of the Temple of Paragon and found a pool in the forest. He looked at himself in the pool. Suddenly, a young man in his 20s with a dark face and a rather cold face came into view. What a wonderful disguise. It's like I'm a completely different person. Lu Ming looked at it carefully and found that the disguise was tightly attached to his face. It was impossible to tell that he was wearing a disguise. Then let's change again. With a thought, crackling sounds could be heard from Lu Ming's body. His bones were wriggling and in the end, Lu Ming's height actually increased by a little. His figure also became a little more burly. Lu Ming could only do this when his physical body reached the complete 2nd grade. It could cause slight changes in his physical body. Although the changes weren't big with the disguise, Lu Ming seemed to be a completely different person. Even the people closest to him wouldn't be able to recognize him. Good. This way, I won't be afraid of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Moreover, no one will be able to recognize me when I go to the imperial capital. This will make it easier for me to investigate my father's matter. Lu Ming thought. Then Lu Ming continued to go deep into the mountains. According to his previous plan, he would cultivate as he went to the imperial capital. Now, Lu Ming's cultivation mainly had 3 directions. One was the comprehension of the fire force, the second was the high air steps, and the third was the ancient shield technique. Roar. 7 days later, a Class 6 LV-3 demonic beast covered in scales was pierced through the throat by Lu Ming's spear. It roared and fell to the ground. The spirit-devouring bloodline activated and devoured the demonic beast's blood essence. At the same time, the monster core appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The blood essence was used by Lu Ming to upgrade his bloodline grade, while the monster core was used to improve his cultivation. Just like this, he hunted demonic beasts while he went to the imperial capital. 1 month later, a swift wind sparrow flapped its wings in the air and fled frantically. Behind it, Lu Ming stepped on the void and followed closely behind the swift wind sparrow at lightning speed. Swoosh, swoosh. Lu Ming's body seemed to be weightless as he floated in the air. After flying for a few hundred meters, Lu Ming's body slowly landed. After landing, Lu Ming stepped on the tip of a big tree. Lu Ming's body shot into the sky like an arrow and chased after the swift wind sparrow. The swift wind sparrow screeched in fright and flew desperately. However, no matter what it did, it couldn't get rid of Lu Ming. Ha! Lu Ming laughed. After flying for a few miles, Lu Ming landed on the top of a mountain and sat down cross-legged. After more than a month of hard work, Lu Ming's airborne steps had reached the peak of the 5th level. Just a little bit more and he would be able to enter the 6th level. Just now, when he was chasing after the swift wind sparrow, he suddenly understood something. Wind, invisible yet omnipresent. Wind, light, erratic yet fast as lightning. Lu Ming closed his eyes and quietly comprehended. The principle of the airborne steps was to use the genuine qi in the body to resonate with the wind and the air to achieve the purpose of riding the wind for a short period of time. Feeling the breeze from the top of the mountain, Lu Ming's face revealed a smile. A green breeze slowly swirled around his body. Lu Ming's body seemed to be as light as a feather, as if he could be blown away by the wind at any time. After an unknown period of time, swish, Lu Ming suddenly opened his eyes. His figure moved and he took a step forward. Chapter 196. With his hands behind his back, Lu Ming walked step by step in the air as if he was walking on flat ground. The 6th stage of the airborne steps, man and martial arts as one. I finally reached it. A faint smile hung on Lu Ming's face. Lu Ming was only a 4th grade martial master. Furthermore, it had not been long since he became a martial master. Yet, he was able to cultivate a profound class superior grade martial arts technique to the realm of man and martial arts as one. If news of this were to spread, it would shock many people. It seems that I am indeed a peerless genius. Lu Ming laughed shamelessly. In the past, with the chanting of scriptures, his cultivation speed was extremely fast. However, now that the chanting of scriptures had disappeared, Lu Ming only battled with himself every day, and his cultivation speed did not decrease. It could be seen that Lu Ming's talent was extremely shocking. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming walked step by step. His body was like a bolt of lightning crossing the sky. In the blink of an eye, he was a few hundred meters away. However, there was no sign of him descending. Lu Ming continued to walk in the air. His body faintly gave off a light and erratic feeling. Wind force. Is this the wind force? Lu Ming muttered to himself. Previously, when he comprehended the airborne steps and broke through to the airborne steps, he took the opportunity to comprehend a little bit of the wind force. Although it was only a little bit, it was already enough to make Lu Ming go wild with joy. Ordinary people were only qualified to comprehend force when they reached the martial ancestor realm. However, Lu Ming's fire force had already reached the small success stage, and he had even comprehended the second force. Wind force. In the future, when he combined wind and fire, his power would definitely be even more shocking. Using the wind force together with the airborne steps, the power of the airborne steps would reach a shocking level. Lu Ming walked in the air for a full 2,000 meters before slowly descending. Originally, even if he cultivated the airborne steps to the 6th stage, it would be considered good to be able to walk 1,000 meters in the air. Suddenly there was a screech from below. Then a golden goshawk soared into the sky. It flapped its wings and streaks of golden feathers shot toward Lu Ming like golden divine swords. Class 7 LV-3 Demonic Beast, Golden Goshawk. Finally, a decent demonic beast. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. In the next moment, 2 ancient shields appeared in front of Lu Ming. Clang, clang. The golden feathers landed on the shield, emitting the sound of metal clashing. Sparks flew in all directions in the air. However, the shield in front of Lu Ming did not budge. Kill the power of wind and fire. Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. The spear contained a blazing aura. At the same time, the wind assisted the fire, causing Lu Ming's spear to completely transform into a flaming spear. The spear broke through all obstacles and pierced into the golden goshawk's chest. The violent energy instantly tore apart the golden goshawk's internal organs. The golden goshawk let out a shriek and died. A single spear killed a Class 7 LV3 demonic beast. The combination of the power of wind and fire is actually so powerful? Lu Ming was pleasantly surprised. Currently he was only at the entry level of the wind force. He could imagine that if his understanding of the wind force became more profound, it would be even more powerful when combined with the fire force. However, wind and fire complement each other. That's why it was so easy to combine them. If they were two opposite forces, it would not be so easy to combine them. Lu Ming was very clear. Moreover, this was only a preliminary combination. It was not a true combination. Now, I finally have the ability to protect myself when facing a martial ancestor realm martial artist. Lu Ming thought to himself. In the past, when he faced a martial ancestor realm expert, he could not escape even if he used all his strength. However, Lu Ming was slightly more confident now. Next, Lu Ming continued to cultivate as he headed to the Imperial City. Lu Ming was not in a hurry. Therefore, it took Lu Ming another half a month to reach the Imperial City. In front of him there was a huge object. It was boundless and spanned between heaven and earth as if it had existed since ancient times. As he walked closer, he realized that it was even bigger. The black city wall was 100 meters high and extended into the sky. It was impossible to see how long the city wall was. At a glance, there seemed to be no end to it. According to legend, the Imperial City of the Burning Sun was 100 miles long in each direction. It was extremely majestic. On top of the city walls, there were rows of armored soldiers standing in rows. Their armor was thick like a forest and their armor was dense. Every soldier emitted a powerful aura. The Imperial City of the Burning Sun Empire was the most majestic city in the Burning Sun Empire. It was the core of the Burning Sun Imperial family's power. According to legend, 800 years ago, the Burning Sun Imperial family was the most powerful force in the Burning Sun Empire. All the major sects had to bow before the Burning Sun Imperial family. At that time, the Burning Sun Imperial family ruled the world. Thousands of cities in the Burning Sun Empire were under the rule of the Burning Sun Empire and their strength was at its peak. Unfortunately, the Burning Sun Imperial family fell into internal strife and wars were endless. Later their strength weakened and the sects rose. In particular, the Shifang Sword sect took control of the Imperial family and their strength increased tremendously. The Burning Sun Imperial family would not be able to make a comeback. Now, the people of the Burning Sun Empire only had the 5 major sects in their eyes. The influence of the Imperial family was very weak. Lu Ming walked along the official road and entered the Imperial City. The streets of the Imperial City were very wide. It would not be a problem for 10 carriages to travel side by side. On both sides of the street there were many shops. There were elixir shops, weapon refining pavilions and so on. It was not something that Firestorm City could compare to. Even Mysterious Sword City could not compare. The streets were bustling with people coming and going. Lu Ming looked around curiously as he walked. The Burning Sun Imperial City is so big. How should I investigate father's news? Lu Ming thought. For a moment he had no idea at all. Hua Qi said that he is in the Imperial City. Maybe he is from the Imperial City. If I can find him and ask him about the situation in the Imperial City and the division of forces, it will be of great help to my next move. But what made Lu Ming dumbfounded was that he did not know how to find Hua Qi. Forget it, the restaurant is the most informative place. Let's go to the restaurant first and find out more information while eating. Lu Ming was planning to look for a restaurant when there was a commotion on the street. Not good, Hua Jie is walking his beast again. What? Let's go. In the streets, the crowd was in chaos. The crowd was running around with fear on their faces. Brr. Suddenly, a deafening beast roar was heard. Then, at the end of the street, a behemoth was running towards them. It was a beast that was 3 meters tall and 6 to 7 meters long. Its body was covered with fiery red scales and it was emitting a ferocious aura as it ran on the street. Rank 1 Rank 3 Cracked Armor Beast. Lu Ming recognized the beast's origin and level at a glance. Ah, go. Behind the Cracked Armor Beast, there was a group of people riding on horses and shouting loudly. As the Cracked Armor Beast ran, the pedestrians on the street retreated. Even some experts of the martial Grandmaster realm and above were shocked and retreated to the side. Mother, mother, where are you? Ling Er is scared. Chapter 197. In the middle of the street, a little girl about 4 or 5 years old was crying. She had pigtails and was holding a stick of candied hawthorn in her hand. The cracked armor beast was charging at the little girl. Ling Er. Someone save my Ling Er. Not far away, a woman screamed in fear and ran toward the little girl. However, she was obviously not a warrior and could not make it in time. None of the other warriors around her made a move. The warrior's eyes were filled with fear. The cracked armor beast saw the little girl. It roared and charged toward the little girl with a bloodthirsty look in its eyes. In the blink of an eye, it was close to the little girl. The cracked armor beast opened its bloody mouth and bit at the little girl. Its huge bloody mouth was big enough to swallow the little girl in one bite. Behind it, the people on horseback laughed. Crack armor, enjoy it. A young man in a gold-threaded robe shouted excitedly. At this moment, the little girl had already forgotten to cry. She just stared blankly. Obviously she was scared stiff. Ling, The woman uttered a shrill cry. Lu Ming frowned. How could they let a beast eat people on the street? Was this still the imperial capital? Just as the cracked armor beast was about to bite the little girl, Lu Ming moved. His body swayed slightly and appeared beside the little girl. He reached out to grab the little girl and floated back. Seeing that the fat meat in its mouth was snatched away, the cracked armor beast roared and charged toward Lu Ming with a murderous look in its eyes. Get lost. Lu Ming suddenly widened his eyes and shouted. A murderous aura that was even stronger than that of the cracked armor beast erupted. The cracked armor beast roared and its eyes were filled with fear. Like a frightened puppy, it ran back. Who is it? How dare you stop my beast from eating? You're courting death. An angry roar sounded. Thud, thud, thud. 7 or 8 horses galloped toward them. The person in the lead was the young man in the gold-threaded robe. The young man's face was slightly pale. His eyes were malicious as he stared coldly at Lu Ming. The cracked armor beast stood in front of the young man in the gold-threaded roar at Lu Ming. Little girl, are you all right? Lu Ming did not even look at the young man. Instead, he smiled at the little girl in his arms. I'm fine. Thank you, big brother. The little girl said obediently. At this moment, the old woman, Ling is next to the golden-robed young man. A thin-faced young man shouted coldly. He pulled out a soft whip and whipped the woman's body. Immediately, a bloody mark appeared and blood seeped out, dyeing her clothes red. That little girl is dead for sure. Isn't that so? How could Hua Jie's beast be satisfied with just kowtowing? What a pity for that young man. He's probably just arrived at the imperial capital, yet he actually interfered in this matter. I'm afraid his end will be miserable. He can only blame his bad luck. Whispers could be heard from all around. His voice was very soft, for fear that Hua Jie would hear him. But what kind of cultivation did Lu Ming have? Still, he listened to every single word that was said. But he only smiled. The woman continued to kowtow. On the warhorse, the golden-robed young man, Hua Jie, frowned. His long and narrow eyes flashed with killing intent. I told you to get lost, didn't you hear me? A ferocious look appeared on the skinny young man's face as he lashed out at the woman with the whip again. Lu Ming frowned. He reached out and grabbed the soft whip in his hand. Brat, you've got guts. I didn't look for you, but you still dared to interfere. Now kneel down and slap yourself 100 times. Obediently put down this little girl and then scram. The thin-faced young man pointed at Lu Ming and yelled. Lu Ming's eyes darkened as he coldly stared at the thin-faced young man. Brat, you're still not letting go? Fine, since that's the case, you'll also become the food of my young master's war beast. The thin-faced young man pulled the whip and realized that it wouldn't budge. He immediately yelled again. Do you usually feed your war beasts with humans? Lu Ming coldly asked. So what if we do? These lowly people are like ants. To be able to become the food of my young master's war beast is a blessing that they've cultivated for several lifetimes. The thin-faced young man hooted arrogantly. He didn't put Lu Ming in his eyes at all. What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and kill this brat. Can't you see that I'm hungry? At this moment, Hua Jie indifferently said. There was a hint of impatience in his voice. The thin-faced young man's expression changed greatly. He looked at Lu Ming ferociously and yelled, Brat, then I'll send you on your way. After saying this, he jumped down from the warhorse and pounced towards Lu Ming like a goshawk. His momentum was not weak at all. First layer martial grandmaster. Lu Ming's eyes moved. This thin-faced young man was not even 30 years old. It was already not bad for him to be a first-layer martial grandmaster. However, in front of Lu Ming it was not enough. He flicked the whip in his hand and a strong burst of true chi rushed towards the soft whip. The thin-faced young man was still holding the soft whip in one hand. He suddenly felt a surge of power coming from the soft whip. This power rushed into his palm and almost caused his palm to explode. A terrifying wound appeared on his palm. His hand also let go of the soft whip. Swish. Lu Ming flicked the soft whip like a snake and coiled it around the thin-faced young man's neck. He then flicked it and the thin-faced young man heavily fell to the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. With one move, he easily made the thin-faced young man, who was a first-layer martial grandmaster, lie on the ground like a dead dog. The sound of people sucking in cold air could be heard from all around. So powerful, finished in one move. What's so powerful about that? He dared to hit one of Hua Jie's men. He's finished. It seems like this is his first time in the imperial capital. That's true. Hua Jie will definitely not let him go. At this moment, the thin-faced young man let out an ear-piercing scream. Ah, smash. Little bastard, you actually dared to hit me. Young master, you must seek justice for me. Let the cracked armor chew him into pieces. Is that so? If that's the case, then I'll feed you to the demonic beast. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He flicked the soft whip in his hand and the thin-faced young man's body directly flew towards the cracked armor beast. At the same time, the thin-faced young man's blood splashed into the cracked armor beast's mouth. Stimulated by the blood, the cracked armor beast let out a roar and the bloodthirsty light in its eyes became stronger. Brr. With a roar, it opened its bloody mouth and directly bit towards the thin-faced young man. No, don't. The thin-faced young man was scared out of his wits and crazily screamed. Lingair, don't look. Lu Ming blocked the little girl's eyes. Puchi. Chapter 198. Ah. The skinny young man screamed in agony. Brr. The cracked armor beast roared as its bloodlust intensified. Crack armor, stop right there. Hua Jie roared from his warhorse. But the cracked armor beast had bitten off an arm. The blood made it go berserk. It ignored Hua Jie's words and continued to pounce on the skinny young man. Ah, help, help. The skinny young man screamed in agony. He wanted to run away but he couldn't because of the whip. Lu Ming pulled the whip and the skinny young man flew towards Lu Ming. The cracked armor beast roared and continued to pounce. Lu Ming put down the little girl and stepped forward. He pressed his palm against the cracked armor beast's head. Boom. The cracked armor beast's huge body was pressed to the ground by Lu Ming, causing cracks to appear on the ground. The cracked armor beast roared and struggled but it was useless. The skinny young man screamed and looked at Lu Ming in confusion. He didn't know why Lu Ming wanted to save him. Don't misunderstand. I don't want to save you. I just want you to feel what it's like to be eaten by a beast. There was not a trace of emotion in his voice. No, please let me go. The skinny young man screamed. Let you go? No, it's a blessing to be the food of your young master's beast. I must fulfill your wish. Lu Ming smiled faintly. The skinny young man had said that himself. No, I was just talking nonsense. Just take it as a fart and let it go. The skinny young man said in a trembling voice. Enough. On the warhorse, Hua Jie's expression was extremely gloomy. He looked at Lu Ming and said, Lad, this farce ends here. You have 3 breaths. Within 3 breaths, destroy your own cultivation and kowtow to me 18 times. Then I will let today's matter go. His words shocked everyone. Hua Jie was willing to let Lu Ming go? This was rare. It seemed like Hua Jie was a little afraid of Lu Ming. Hua Jie sat on his warhorse and looked down at Lu Ming from above. In his opinion, he was already doing him a great favor by offering such conditions. However, Lu Ming didn't seem to appreciate it. Get out of my sight now and I'll let it go. Lu Ming shouted. This caused the surrounding people to be dumbfounded. Hua Jie. It seemed like he didn't know anything about Hua Jie's identity. Next to her, the woman hugged Ling tightly, trembling in fear. Hua Jie was stunned for a moment. Then, as if he had heard a hilarious joke, he laughed and said, You want me to get lost? Ah, good. Now, you have lost your only chance of survival. Kill him for me. Yes. Behind Hua Jie, 6 silhouettes jumped off their warhorses. The eyes of the 6 middle-aged men shone brightly. The moment they leaped into the air, their auras exploded. They were all martial grandmasters. The weakest one was a second-layer martial grandmaster. The strongest one was a third-layer martial grandmaster. 3 second-layer martial grandmasters and 3 third-layer martial grandmasters. The 6 of them were powerful. They wanted to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. However, Lu Ming merely glanced at them nonchalantly before he waved his palm. Lu Ming's palm flickered. He had already infused the power of wind into it, making Lu Ming's palm unbelievably fast. Clap, clap, clap. Everyone only heard 6 slaps before they saw the 6 burly men fly back at a speed faster than they had pounced. They were like 6 broken sacks as they heavily fell to the ground. The crowd saw that the left side of each of the 6 men's faces was swollen. A clear handprint could be seen. Hiss, gasps could be heard all around. Many people's eyes almost popped out. They were dumbfounded. 6 experts were sent flying with a single slap. They were all experts of the second or third layer of the martial master realm. Lu Ming looked like he was in his 20s. How could he be so terrifying? Where did this young expert come from? It was too shocking. The skinny young man was stunned. His eyes were filled with despair. Even the cracked armor beast was shocked. The bloodthirsty look in its eyes disappeared and was replaced by fear. Kept retreating. Wuxia was also stunned. After a while he reacted and shouted angrily, "Little bastard, you dare to fight back? You're dead. I'm going to chop you up and feed you to the beasts." They wanted to kill me. Can't I fight back? Lu Ming sneered. His eyes were cold as he walked towards Wuxia. How ridiculous. He really didn't know what Wuxia was thinking. Did he think that he was better than others and that he could humiliate others and take their lives without them fighting back? How ridiculous. What do you want? Wuxia's face was extremely gloomy. The killing intent in his eyes was so dense that it couldn't be dispersed. He wanted to tear Lu Ming into pieces. What do I want? Don't you like to use other people's lives to feed your beasts? I really want to know what kind of expression you will have when you become the food for that beast of yours. Lu Ming walked towards Wuxia and said with a faint smile, "How dare you? Don't you know who I am? If you dare to do this, I'll kill your entire family." Wuxia shouted. "Who are you?" "It's none of my business." Lu Ming replied calmly. "So you don't know who I am? Let me tell you. I'm the son of the Sky-Suppressing King. Do you know that my father is the Sky-Suppressing King? If you kneel down and admit your mistake, you can still live." Wuxia continued to shout. His eyes were filled with viciousness. So Lu Ming didn't know who he was. Now that he told him who he was, he believed that Lu Ming would be scared half to death. However, he was disappointed. Lu Ming didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. He didn't even bat an eyelid. It seemed like the name of the Sky-Suppressing King didn't affect Lu Ming at all. Wuxia's expression changed. It was extremely ugly and he was flustered. Wuxia gritted his teeth and said, "Fine. Just you wait. I won't let you go. Let's go." "Go. Did I say that you can go?" Lu Ming said calmly. He moved and appeared in front of Wuxia. "Kid, don't be so shameless. I swear that if you dare to touch me today, I'll make sure you die a horrible death." Wuxia roared. "Is that so?" Lu Ming sneered and said, "All the more reason for me to try." Lu Ming's palm glowed red as he grabbed at Wuxia. "Stop, young man. Let me give you a piece of advice. My young master is not someone you can mess with." The 6 burly men rushed over again. One of them roared, "You don't know what you're talking about." Sizzle, sizzle. Lu Ming used his finger as a spear and stabbed out. 6 streaks of spear light shot out. Bam, bam. The 6 burly men roared and tried their best to resist. However, it was useless. They were sent flying again and coughed up blood. Wuxia's expression changed. "Now no one can stop me." Lu Ming clawed at Wuxia. Chapter 199. Ah. Wuxia struggled madly. However, in Lu Ming's hands he was like a little chick, unable to put up any resistance. Silence. At this moment, the air between heaven and earth seemed to have frozen. Everyone stared at Lu Ming in a daze. After knowing Wuxia's identity, Lu Ming still dared to grab Wuxia by the throat. Even the elites of the 5 major sects did not have the guts to do so. After all, they were in Imperial City and the geniuses of the Imperial family. "Let go of young master." The 6 burly men ignored their injuries and rushed over. "If you don't want him to die, go ahead," Lu Ming said. The 6 burly men stopped in their tracks. Lu Ming moved and appeared in front of the cracked armor beast. Brr. The cracked armor beast seemed to be afraid of Lu Ming and slowly retreated. Lu Ming flicked his finger and a spear radiance pierced through the cracked armor beast's scales, causing blood to flow. Brr. The cracked armor beast was injured and let out an angry roar. Its eyes were red and filled with a murderous aura. Come on. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and brought Huajie to the cracked armor beast's mouth. However, the cracked armor beast looked at Huajie and hesitated. It seemed to be afraid of Huajie. Lu Ming smiled and cut Huajie's arm. A stream of blood flew into the cracked armor beast's mouth. Brr. The cracked armor beast went crazy after being injured and having blood in its mouth. It opened its mouth and roared. Its eyes were filled with greed as it stared at Huajie. No, don't. Huajie screamed at the top of his lungs. He was scared out of his wits and his whole body was trembling. I'm sure many people have been eaten by your demon beasts. Now that your cracked armor beast has swallowed you, you deserve it. Lu Ming said indifferently. Everyone around them was shocked. They stared at the scene with their mouths agape. Lu Ming was too bold. He actually wanted the cracked armor beast to eat Huajie. Many people were cheering in their hearts. Huajie had committed all kinds of crimes in Imperial City because of his status, but no one dared to say anything. Because his father was Heavenly King Suppressor. Given that he was known as Heaven Suppressing, one could imagine how powerful he was. Most importantly, Heavenly King Suppressor was very close to the Decimo Sword Sect. Brr. The splinter armor beast roared and lunged at Huajie with its mouth wide open. No. The 6 middle-aged men roared. Ah. Huajie let out an incomparably miserable scream. It was incomparably sorrowful and mournful. Huajie was so scared that he wet his pants. Lu Ming smiled faintly and retreated slightly, causing the cracked armor beast to miss. Huajie continued to scream. After a while he realized that he was fine and stopped. Then he realized that the people around him were looking at him strangely. Their faces were all red. It was obvious that they wanted to laugh but didn't dare to. At the same time, a foul stench wafted into Huajie's nose. In an instant, his face changed from pale to ashen and then to red. At this moment he wished he could find a hole to crawl into. Ah, damn it, damn it. Huajie screamed madly in his heart. The young lord ordered his beast to devour others. I didn't know that he was so cowardly. Today I've learned something new. Ah. Lu Ming tossed Huajie aside casually. He did not even look at Huajie as he laughed and left. In fact, he didn't plan to kill Huajie from the beginning. He came to the imperial capital this time to investigate his father. If he killed Huajie, Heavenly King Suppressor would definitely go crazy and it would be difficult for him to stay in the imperial capital. Now he just wanted to teach Huajie a lesson. The grudge he had with Huajie was only between the younger generation. Heavenly King Suppressor wouldn't dare to interfere. At least on the surface he wouldn't. If they were juniors, Lu Ming was not afraid of anyone. Damn it, I swear that I'll kill you no matter who you are. Huajie roared in his heart, but he didn't dare to say it out loud. He was afraid that Lu Ming would return. If any of you dare to tell anyone about what happened today, I'll kill his entire family. After Lu Ming walked far away, Huajie looked at the surrounding crowd and shouted angrily. Everyone despised him. This Huajie was a bully. He pissed his pants in front of Lu Ming. After Lu Ming left, he started to show off again. However, they weren't as bold as Lu Ming and could only nod their heads. Let's go. Huajie shouted and left in a hurry. He needed to find a place to change his pants. Lu Ming didn't look for a restaurant in this area. He planned to walk further and find a place to rest. Brother, please wait a moment. After walking for a while, a shout came from behind him. Lu Ming was curious. He stopped and turned around. Behind him, 2 people were striding towards him. One of them was a girl in her late teens. She was slightly older than Lu Ming and was very beautiful. The other was a young man in his mid-teens. He looked similar to the girl. He had red lips and white teeth. He was very handsome. Lu Ming's brows twitched slightly. He didn't know these 2 people. Why were they looking for him? Were they Huajie's men? Are you looking for me? Lu Ming asked. That's right. I'm Pearl. I admire you for teaching Huajie a lesson. That's why I wanted to get to know you. The girl cupped her fists. I'm Ming Peak and I'm Ming Peak. What's your name, brother? It was so satisfying just now. I wanted to fight too, but my sister stopped me. The young man exclaimed. He seemed very lively. The 2 people's gazes were pure and harmless. They must be telling the truth. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and said, I'm Tianyun. Tianyun was Lu Yuntian's name in reverse. Since he had disguised himself, he naturally had to change his name. So it's Brother Tian. You look young, but your cultivation is so profound that it's admirable. Moreover, you didn't fear Wuxia and brazenly attacked him. I'm ashamed. Pearl said. You're too polite. It was just a small effort. It's nothing. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Brother Tianyun, you're too humble. I don't have that kind of cultivation. Otherwise, I would have taught that Wuxia a lesson. Haha, he actually pissed his pants just now. That was so fun. I'm sure it'll cause a sensation in Imperial Capital. Ming Peak laughed. He was very good at making connections. He directly called Brother Tianyun. Lu Ming didn't mind. He only smiled. Brother Tian, this should be your first time in Imperial Capital, right? Pearl asked. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. Ming Zhu nodded with an as-expected expression and continued, Brother Tian, although that Wuxia is a hedonistic son and is not worth mentioning, his father is the suppressing heavenly king. You have to be careful. Sky-suppressing king? Is he strong? Lu Ming asked. To be honest, he had never heard of the sky-suppressing king before. Of course he's strong. A hint of fear flashed in Pearl's eyes. He said, the sky-suppressing king is the eldest brother of the current emperor. He has extremely profound cultivation and is in charge of more than half of the military power in the world. He's invincible. It's said that he has a special relationship with the Shifang sword sect. Oh, he's really a big shot. Chapter 200. Even if he knew what kind of person the heaven-suppressing king was, he would still do what he had to do. Seeing Lu Ming's calm expression, Pearl secretly admired him. Big Brother Tianyun, are you also here to join the Star General Hall? Ming Peak suddenly asked. Star General Hall? Lu Ming was taken aback, his face filled with confusion. That's right, the Star General Hall is a place created by the imperial family to gather the world's geniuses. Besides the 5 major sects, it is the place with the most geniuses in the Blazing Sun Empire. Ming Peak answered. There's such a place? Lu Ming's expression flickered. Brother Tian, if you're here for business and will leave soon, then it's fine. But if you plan to stay in the imperial capital for a long time, then I suggest you join the Star General Hall. The Star General Hall was created by the previous emperors of the Blazing Sun Empire and has been in use ever since. As long as you join the Star General Hall, the older generation like the heaven-suppressing king will have no reason to act. At most, only the younger generation will be able to act. Pearl explained. Then Pearl explained a little about the Star General Hall. It was very simple. It was a place where the imperial family gathered the world's geniuses and trained generals. Thus, it was called the Star General Hall. Many of those who came out of the Star General Hall would become great generals. Lu Ming was tempted. Joining the Star General Hall might be a good choice. Joining the Star General Hall would at least give him a temporary place to stay. Moreover, the Star General Hall was an extremely important place in the imperial capital. He might be able to obtain some important information there. What are the requirements to join the Star General Hall? Lu Ming asked. There's almost no requirement. If there's a requirement, there's only one, and that is talent. As long as you have talent, the Star General Hall will accept you regardless of your identity, background, or cultivation. It doesn't matter if you're the son or daughter of a noble or a commoner. Pearl said. So lenient? Lu Ming was shocked and somewhat incredulous. Big Brother Tianyun, let me tell you something. There's a saying that the Scorching Sun royal family is unwilling to be controlled by the 10 Direction Sword sect and wants to nurture their own faction. That's why they created the Star General Hall with such low conditions. Ming Peak whispered. Lu Ming fell into deep thought. It seemed that the relationship between the 10 Direction Sword sect and the imperial family was rather subtle. Brother Tian, Star General Hall will open its doors to recruit a new batch of people every month. The day after tomorrow is Star General Hall's monthly recruitment. Brother Tian, you can go and give it a try. Pearl said. Big Brother Tianyun, let me tell you, my sister is also a member of the Star General Hall. As for me, I will also be joining the Star General Hall the day after tomorrow. At that time, let's go together. Ming Peak shouted. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Brother Tian, take care. See you the day after tomorrow. Pearl cupped his fists and left with Ming Peak. After that, Lu Ming continued to wander around. After passing a few streets, he found an inn and checked in. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. During these 2 days, everything was calm and peaceful. Nothing much happened. 2 days later, Lu Ming walked out of the inn. The Star General Hall was very famous in the imperial capital. He found out the exact location of the Star General Hall after asking around. Lu Ming headed toward the Star General Hall. The Star General Hall was located in the northernmost part of the imperial capital. There were continuous mountains and numerous halls there, stretching as far as the eye could see. The entrance of the Star General Hall was very majestic. On both sides there were 2 bronze Qilin statues, looking extraordinarily mighty. At the entrance there were more than 10 burly men standing upright. Their bodies emitted a strong and ferocious aura. Obviously they were all experts. Furthermore, they were martial grandmasters. There was a table in front of the entrance. A white-haired old man was registering. There were many people coming and going at the entrance. They were all old students of the Star General Hall. Those who joined the Star General Hall were called students. There were also some who, like Lu Ming, were new students who wanted to join the Star General Hall. Big brother Tianyun. Lu Ming heard a shout the moment he arrived. Ming Peek and Pearl walked over. Good morning. Lu Ming greeted them with a smile. Looks like there aren't many people here. Lu Ming swept his gaze and said with a smile. The Star General Hall recruits a new batch of people every month. Therefore there aren't many people here. On average there are about 100 people here every month. Pearl explained. Show me your bloodline. At that moment, a young man walked up to the old man. The old man said indifferently. Bus. A blood-red light flashed on the young man's body and a tall brown bear appeared. 3 blood-red chakras flashed on the brown bear's body. 3rd grade bloodline, not bad. What's your name? The old man asked. Fengwei. The young man replied. Then the old man took out a jade token and inscribed several inscriptions on it. He passed the jade token to the young man and said, All right, this is your identity jade token. From now on you're a student of the Star General Hall. The young man was overjoyed. He took the jade token and walked into the Star General Hall. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Isn't this procedure too simple? It's that simple. Pearl smiled. Then won't there be disciples from the 5 major sects in the Star General Hall? Lu Ming asked curiously. Of course, there will be disciples from the 5 major sections. There are quite a number of them. Some of them specially came to join the Star General Hall. Some are here to cultivate, some are here to gain experience. However, after joining the Star General Hall, there are certain measures in place. Pearl explained. Lu Ming was amazed. One by one the young men went to register. Lu Ming noticed that as long as one's bloodline was at least 2nd grade, they could join the Star General Hall. Brat, it's you. Suddenly, a voice filled with murderous intent sounded. Lu Ming turned around and could not help but reveal a cold smile at the corners of his mouth. It was Huajia. Huajia had changed into a silver robe with a jade belt around his waist. He stared coldly at Lu Ming. Beside him, there were a few young men following behind him as they walked over. Brat, you dare to stay in the imperial capital and even want to join the Star General Hall? Just as well you won't be leaving today. Huajia said darkly. Aha, isn't this the young prince? What a coincidence. You've changed your pants, why do you still have a stench? Lu Ming's nose twitched as he said with a smile. You're courting death. Huajia's face instantly turned red as he shouted with a sinister expression. This was the greatest hatred in his heart. Although he had warned others not to speak of what happened 2 days ago, there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall. The news spread quickly and in 2 days, it had almost spread throughout the imperial capital. He had become a laughingstock. Huajia hated Lu Ming to the core. Now Lu Ming still dared to mention this matter? Someone in the crowd couldn't help but laugh out loud. So he's the young man from 2 days ago? How dare he treat Huajia like that? Huajia probably hates him to the core. There's going to be a show to watch. Qin Xiong is beside Huajia. That brat is finished. Chapter 201. Little Prince, is this the kid? A tall young man beside Huajia looked at Lu Ming with hostility. That's the kid. I'll recognize him even if he turns into ashes. Huajia gritted his teeth. Hee, little prince, how do you want me to teach him a lesson? I'll teach him a lesson. Qin Xiong took a few steps forward and looked at Lu Ming mockingly. Do as you see fit. Break his arms and legs first. The rest is up to you. Huajia said in a deep voice. All right, I'll beat him until his mother can't recognize him. Qin Xiong sneered as a powerful aura emanated from his body. Peak 4th level martial master. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He was merely a peak 4th level martial master and yet he dared to be so arrogant. Qin Xiong, this is the general hall. Don't mess around. Ming Zhu's face was solemn as he stepped forward. Io, isn't this beautiful Pearl? Why do you want to help him? But do you think you can stop me? Get out of my way. Don't ask for trouble. Qin Xiong scolded. Pearl's expression changed and turned ugly. What are you being so arrogant for? At most we'll fight. Ming Peak shouted when he saw Pearl being bullied. You're just a kid whose hair hasn't even grown out. You're just an ant. You want to fight? I'll cripple you right now. Qin Xiong sneered and closed in on Ming Peak. Lu Ming smiled faintly and took a step forward. His gaze was calm as a powerful aura rose from his body. 4th level martial master aura. So you're a 4th level martial master. No wonder you can defeat the 6 experts under the Little Prince. No wonder you're so arrogant. But do you think you can fight me just because we're both 4th level martial masters? I'll let you know how naive you are. Qin Xiong's gaze flickered as he said in disdain. Then you can try. Lu Ming said indifferently. Boom. Their auras clashed and a gust of wind swept up. What are you doing? No fighting is allowed at the entrance of the general hall. Get out. Suddenly, the old man in charge of registration at the entrance of the Star General Hall let out a furious roar. An extremely powerful aura burst out and enveloped the entire area. Lu Ming's expression changed. This old man was definitely a martial ancestor realm expert. Elder, this person has a grudge with me. I'll cripple him and leave immediately. Hua Jie cupped his fists at the old man. Young prince, although you are of noble status, this is Star General Hall. Star General Hall has its own rules. Aside from His Majesty the Emperor, no one is allowed to break the rules of Star General Hall. You are no exception. The old man cupped his fists slightly, but he had no intention of backing down. You. Hua Jie's expression was ugly, but there was nothing he could do. The elders of the Star General Hall were directly under the Emperor. Even if his father, the Heavenly King Suppression, was here, the elders of the Star General Hall might not give him face. Humph, brat, consider yourself lucky. However, your luck will only last for 3 days. Let's see how you'll die in 3 days. Hua Jie stared coldly at Lu Ming. Let's go. Then Hua Jie waved his hand and strode into the Star General Hall. Qin Xiong glanced coldly at Lu Ming, sneered, and followed Hua Jie. All right. Continue. The old man waved his hand and said. There were not many people in the hall to begin with. Soon it was Ming Peak's turn. After Ming Peak, it was Lu Ming's turn. Condense your bloodline and let me see. The old man glanced indifferently at Lu Ming. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Then there was a flash of blood-red light on his body. The spirit-devouring bloodline was condensed. At the same time, his 6 blood-red chakras shone brightly. Level 6 bloodline. The old man's eyes suddenly emitted an intense light, like 2 suns. On the side, Pearl, Ming Peak, and a few others looked at Lu Ming in shock. Level 6 bloodline. It was actually a level 6 bloodline. One should know that in the 5 major sects, those with a level 6 bloodline were top-notch geniuses and newcomers. At most, there would be 1 or 2 in a year. The old man's eyes flickered and he suddenly asked, which of the 5 major sects do you belong to? Lu Ming was taken aback. He smiled bitterly in his heart. It seemed that the old man was suspicious because his bloodline was too high. However, the appearance of his chakras was not under his control. Otherwise he would have shown 3 chakras and it would not be too eye-catching. I don't belong to any of the 5 major sections. I'm just a rogue cultivator. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. He was not lying. He was indeed a rogue cultivator. Oh. The old man's eyes flickered. Obviously he did not believe him. What's your name? The old man asked. Tianyun. Lu Ming replied. Then the old man took out a jade token and engraved a few inscriptions on it. He handed the jade token to Lu Ming and said, 3 days later, there will be a test at the martial arts field. Lu Ming took the jade token and nodded. Big brother Tianyun, where's your room? After Lu Ming registered, Ming Peak came up and asked. Lu Ming took the jade token and injected his true chi into it. Immediately, some information appeared. Outer Hall, room 11,232. Lu Ming said. Ah, then we're together. I'm in room 11231 and my sister is not far from us. She's in room 11186. Ming Peak was overjoyed. Lu Ming nodded, but his heart skipped a beat. Martial artists must have their own rooms. There were more than 10,000 people in the Hall of General. There must be at least 10,000 people in the Hall of General. But it was normal when he thought about it. The Hall of General recruited a group of people every month. Even if it was not a lot each time, it would accumulate over the years. Lu Ming, you have to be careful in 3 days. At this moment, Pearl warned with a serious expression. Lu Ming's expression changed. That elder had told everyone who joined that there would be a test at the martial arts field 3 days later. Moreover, Wuxia had also said that Lu Ming's luck was good. It would only be 3 days. 3 days later, let's see how he'll die. He was very curious about this. What exactly is going on with the test 3 days later? Lu Ming asked. Ming Zhu pondered for a moment and said, Brother Tian, you also know that when the Star General Hall recruits people, they don't ask about their background. They take in anyone. There are definitely all sorts of people in there. Of course the Hall of General won't do nothing. Thus, the students who have just joined the Hall of General will be tested 3 days later. The test is actually very simple. The old students will spar with the new students. On the surface it's a spar, but in reality, it's to test the new students. If they are disciples of the 5 great sects, they will definitely not receive any training in the future. Pearl explained in detail. So that's how it is. Lu Ming nodded his head. If that's the case, Wuxia and the others were planning to tamper with the test in 3 days. Therefore, Brother Tian, you have to be careful in 3 days. Normally, the old students will be selected by the elders of the Hall of General. However, with Wuxia's influence, it won't be difficult for him to tamper with the test. Pearl continued. If they want to come, then let them come. Lu Ming smiled, not minding it at all. Brother Tian, don't be careless. Qin Xiong is a top genius. Although his cultivation is only at the peak of the 4th layer of the Martial Master Realm, he once killed a 5th layer Martial Master Realm expert with a single slash. He is incomparably powerful and is not someone ordinary cultivators can compare to. Pearl continued. Genius? Isn't that more interesting? Lu Ming was still smiling faintly. Chapter 202. The Star General Hall was really huge. It was like a small world inside. Mountains, rivers, historical sites and scenic spots were everywhere. Especially the halls and pavilions, they were densely packed and stacked on top of each other. The dormitories in the Star General Hall were filled with pavilions. They were all 7 floors high and had rooms. Lu Ming's room was on the 3rd floor. There was a metal plate hanging on the door with the number 11232. Ming Peek's room was right next to his. He took out his identity jade token and shone it at the metal plate. The metal plate glowed and the door opened automatically. Lu Ming walked in. The room was spacious and elegantly decorated. There was even a bookshelf at the side of the room. The bookshelf was filled with brand new books. The treatment in the Star General Hall is better than in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Although the imperial family has declined, they are still legitimate and have a strong foundation. Lu Ming thought to himself. Soon there was a knock on the door. When he opened it, it was Pearl and Ming Peek. Brother Tian, you just joined the Star General Hall. Let me show you around. Ming Zhu smiled sweetly. Lu Ming nodded. He wanted to familiarize himself with the place. Lu Ming, Pearl, and Ming Peek walked around the Star General Hall. They chatted as they walked. During this time, Lu Ming found out that Pearl and Ming Peek were the sons and daughters of a general in the Blazing Sun Empire. Their father guarded the borders and fought wars all year round. As his sons and daughters, they naturally joined the Star General Hall and could become great generals in the future. The 3 of them chatted as they walked and slowly became closer. A few hours later, Lu Ming returned to his room and entered the Temple of Paragon. With a wave of his hand, a secret manual appeared in his hand. 3 Dao Palms was one of the 2 Earth-rank martial techniques that Lu Ming had obtained from the Dongi tribe's ruins. He did not have the energy to cultivate it before, but now that he had cultivated the airborne steps to the highest level, he could finally cultivate the 3 Dao Palms. Lu Ming opened the 3 Dao Palms manual and carefully read it. After a long time, Lu Ming closed the secret manual, his face revealing a look of amazement. The 3 Palms was a completely offensive martial skill, and its power was beyond his imagination. 3 palms, in fact there were only 3 palms in total. The first palm was the human Dao palm. The second palm was the beast Dao palm. The third palm was the heavenly law palm. According to the introduction, the power of the first palm, the human Dao palm, was already equivalent to the power of other earth-level martial skills. The power of the second palm had completely exceeded the power of a low-grade earth-rank martial skill. It was infinitely close to a high-grade earth-rank martial skill. As for the third palm, the Heaven's Path palm, it was said that when cultivated to the highest level, its might would be infinitely close to a heaven tier martial skill. It was infinitely close to a heaven tier martial skill. Seeing this, Lu Ming's heart fiercely twitched. What kind of concept was a Tian tier martial skill? It was much stronger than an earth tier martial skill. It was incomparably terrifying. It was a martial skill that only kings were qualified to cultivate. The reason why the 3 Dao palms was classified as a low-grade earth-tier martial skill was because very few people in history were able to successfully cultivate the third palm. It was too difficult. Having it was equivalent to not having it, so the 3 Dao palms was classified as a low-grade earth-tier martial skill. Only by cultivating the first palm to the third level could one cultivate the second palm. And to cultivate the third palm, no one knew what conditions one had to meet. It all depended on one's luck. Lu Ming carefully comprehended it, then took out the 3 Dao palms secret manual and carefully read it again. The difficulty of cultivating the 3 Dao palms was even more difficult than the ancient shield technique. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. In 3 days there was no progress in the 3 Dao palms. At this time it was time for the new student's test. Pearl and Ming Peek found Lu Ming early in the morning and walked with Lu Ming to the martial arts field. The martial arts field was very vast. It was said that it was the place where the emperor reviewed the troops. It was impossible to see the end of it. On one side of the martial arts field, there were more than 10 fighting stages. At this time, there were already hundreds of people gathered around one of the fighting stages. More than 100 of them were new students who had just joined this time. The rest were old students. Some were here to watch the show and some were here to participate in the test. As soon as Lu Ming arrived, he saw a few cold eyes staring at him. It was Hua Jie, Qin Xiong and the others. Beside Hua Jie there were more than 10 young men. They were here as expected. Lu Ming smiled faintly and could not be bothered with them. This kid is so calm now. Let's see how he'll die later. That's right. He's lucky to be alive today after offending the young prince. But it'll end here. The other young men beside Hua Jie sneered. Hua Jie's lips curled into a cold murderous intent. He said, Qin Xiong later, you just have to be ruthless and blame the Star Hall. I'll take responsibility. Don't worry, young prince. I know what to do. Qin Xiong sneered. After a while, the number of people gradually increased. In the end, there were about 500 people. At this time, a middle-aged elder went up to the fighting stage. The test this time is very simple. I will send out the old students to spar with the new students. The new students need not have any misgivings and can display your strength to your heart's content. If you are able to last 100 moves against the old students, the Star General Hall will give you a generous reward. If you are able to defeat the old students, the 7 great cultivation sacred grounds of the Star General Hall, with the exception of the Earth Yuan Cave, the other 6 sacred grounds will be able to cultivate for a year free of charge. The middle-aged elder announced. As soon as he said that, the eyes of many new students lit up. 7 sacred grounds? Lu Ming was a little confused. Obviously he had never heard of it. Brother Tian, the 7 sacred grounds are unique to the Star General Hall. It's very mysterious. After the test I'll explain it to you in detail. Pearl said softly. Alright, let's begin. The first one is Wu Yuan. The middle-aged elder announced. As soon as he said that, a skinny young man went up to the fighting stage. You can go up and test him. The middle-aged elder instructed an old student. Yes. An old student in a red robe went up. Without saying anything, the battle began. The new student, Wu Yuan, launched a crazy attack. The saber in his hand turned into a rolling saber light as he attacked Du Can. However, Du Can had a smile on his face. He was calm and did not fight back. Instead he kept dodging. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He could tell that Du Can's cultivation was definitely above the martial Grand Master realm. On the other hand, Wu Yuan was only a 6th grade martial master. The difference was too big. If Du Can really attacked, half a move would be enough to take Wu Yuan's life. However, Du Can did not attack. Lu Ming's heart suddenly skipped a beat. He raised his head and looked at the sky on his right. In the sky, on top of a cloud, a few old men were watching the fighting stage with bright eyes. There are indeed experts observing in the dark. It seems like the Star General Hall is not simple. Could it be that the rumors are true? That the Star General Hall is used by the royal family to nurture their own forces in an attempt to fight against the Shifang Sword faction? But it's so obvious. The Shifang Sword faction must know about it. Lu Ming pondered, full of doubts. At this moment, the few old men on the cloud were seriously watching the battle on the fighting stage. The saber light is rolling. This is the Lone Peak's 30 sabers. This Wu Yuan should be from Lone Peak City. There's no problem. An old man said. It's a pity that his cultivation is too weak and his talent is ordinary. Another old man sighed. There's nothing we can do. Most of the talented ones have been recruited by the 5 major sections. Let's just watch. Chapter 203. Soon, 50 to 60 moves had passed on the fighting stage. Let's end this. Dukan shouted and punched out. Wu Yuan was directly blasted off the battle stage. Continue the second round, go away. The middle-aged elder announced again. The tests continued one after another. However, the strength of the new students was mixed. Some of them were only in the martial soldier realm and could not last more than 100 moves against the old students. Of course, there were exceptions. There was a person whose cultivation had reached the 3rd layer of the martial grandmaster realm. He directly defeated an old student and attracted a lot of attention. Soon it was Ming Peak's turn. However, Ming Peak's cultivation was only in the 6th level martial master realm. It was not bad for his age, but it was impossible for him to be a match for the old student. The old student purposely went easy on Ming Peak for more than 50 moves and then defeated him. Next, Tianyun. The middle-aged elder announced. Lu Ming's expression changed and he stepped onto the fighting stage. Qin Xiong, come up and take the test. The middle-aged elder shouted. Qin Xiong as expected. Lu Ming's eyes moved and he sneered. It's really Qin Xiong. It can't be so coincidental. He must have done something or this elder was bribed. Pearl whispered. Isn't this too hateful? Why don't we ask Brother Tianyun to give up the test? Ming Peak said. No, if he gives up the test, he can't stay in the Star General Hall. Pearl said. Then what should we do? Sister, is that Qin Xiong really that powerful? No matter what, Brother Tianyun is still in the 4th level martial master realm. Ming Peak said anxiously. Pearl sighed and said, of course Qin Xiong is strong. Ordinary 5th level martial masters were killed by him in one move. It is said that no less than 3 5th level martial masters have died in his hands. If he's that powerful, what should we do? Ming Peak was even more anxious. There's no other way. We can only rely on Tianyun's luck. Pearl sighed. Ah. On the other side, Qin Xiong laughed heartily and stepped onto the battle stage, standing in front of Lu Ming. Below the stage, Hua Jie sneered, Brat, your name is Tianyun, right? You've given me 3 more days to live. Now accept your fate. Hua Jie, you haven't fought for a few days. Are your bones itching again? Or do you want to pee in your pants again? Lu Ming glanced at Hua Jie and shouted. His voice spread far and wide. Hua Jie almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming was really too abominable. He was simply poking at Hua Jie's sore spot. Hua Jie's face was flushed red. He glared at Lu Ming and roared, Little bastard, go ahead and scream. This is your last chance. I'll let you have your fill. After all, you're about to die. Hee. Lu Ming responded with a sneer. He was too lazy to deal with Hua Jie, this mad dog. Clang. At this moment, Qin Xiong unsheathed his long sword. A bright, blood-red sword chi soared into the sky. Tianyun, I once used this sword to kill an expert of the 5th level of the martial master realm. It is your honor to be able to die under my sword. Qin Xiong said loudly. His face was full of pride. You killed a 5th grade martial master expert with a single sword. You're shameless enough to brag about it. Don't you find it embarrassing? Lu Ming curled his lips and said indifferently. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding crowd staggered and almost fell. They looked at Lu Ming speechlessly. Embarrassing? As a 4th level martial master, he had killed a 5th level martial master expert with one sword. In Lu Ming's eyes, this was a broken record and embarrassing? This was a battle that surpassed one's level. Moreover, it was in the martial master realm. To be able to kill an opponent in the martial master realm, one must be a top genius. Bragging, he must be bragging. Almost everyone thought that Lu Ming was bragging. Even Pearl and Ming Peak looked at each other. Bragging. Since you're about to die, I'll let you brag to your heart's content. Hua Jie laughed loudly. However, Qin Xiong's face was extremely ugly. The battle that he had always been proud of was actually so unbearable in Lu Ming's eyes. Whether or not Qin Xiong was bragging in his eyes, it was an insult to him. Tianyun, wait a moment. I hope you can still say it. Qin Xiong's voice was extremely cold. He pointed his long sword and a surging sword chi rushed towards Lu Ming. Kill. Qin Xiong shouted. His killing intent soared to the heavens. Man and sword became one, turning into a blood-red sword qi and slashing towards Lu Ming. The sword qi whistled as if it could cut the space in half. Its power was extremely shocking. How was this a test or a spar? This was blatantly trying to kill Lu Ming. Oh no. Pearl and Ming Peek's faces changed dramatically. As for Huajie, he sneered and thought, boy, it's really too easy for you to die like this. In the fighting ring, Lu Ming's face was calm. Looking at the incoming sword qi, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He did not take out a weapon. Instead, he waved his hand and a red spear appeared in his hand. Chasing thunder. Whoosh! The red spear qi flashed by. Fast, too fast, unbelievably fast. Most people did not even see it clearly. Only a few old men in the clouds were shocked. Bang! In the fighting ring, two rays of light collided. However, Qin Xiong's sword qi was like a layer of bubbles that burst upon contact. Then the spear qi continued to flash and disappeared. The spear quickly disappeared. In the fighting ring, two figures stood facing each other. Who won? Everyone stared with their eyes wide open. Suddenly, a stream of blood spurted out from Qin Xiong's throat. Qin Xiong screamed and covered his throat with his hands. His eyes were as wide as a dead fish's as he stared at Lu Ming in disbelief. I've said it before. It's really embarrassing to talk about your lousy battle record. Lu Ming said indifferently. You? Qin Xiong's eyes were filled with fear and unwillingness. Then he fell to the ground and stopped breathing. The surrounding students of the Star General Hall were all dumbfounded as they watched on. One move to kill a top genius, Qin Xiong. Moreover, Lu Ming did not even use a weapon. He merely condensed a long spear with his true qi and killed Qin Xiong with a casual move. What kind of strength is this? Isn't he too strong? Qin Xiong did not even have the strength to fight back in front of him. Genius, a peerless genius. Many people shouted in their hearts. So strong, this young man is not simple. In the clouds, an old man said. Could he be a genius from the 5 major sects? It's hard to say. I really hope he is not a disciple of the 5 major sections. Investigate thoroughly. If he is not from the 5 major sects, we must try our best to rope him in. A few old men looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. Below the fighting ring, Huajie stared at the scene with his mouth agape. After a while, he came to his senses and roared furiously, Tingyun, how dare you kill Qin Xiong? How dare you kill him? You will pay with your life. Pay with my life? Ridiculous, Qin Xiong was the one who said he wanted to kill me. Now that I killed him, he deserved it. Moreover, the elders did not say that killing is forbidden. Chapter 204. On the battle platform, the middle-aged elder's expression darkened, but he didn't say anything. He was indeed bribed by Huajie, but he knew that there were a few big shots watching from the clouds. He didn't dare to go overboard. Huajie was stunned. He couldn't refute Lu Ming's words. How about this, Huajie, I'll give you a chance. All of you can come at me together. Lu Ming said indifferently. What? There was an uproar. Lu Ming actually wanted all of Huajie's people to come at him together? This was too arrogant. One must know that all of Huajie's people were geniuses. They were the children of many big shots in the imperial capital. Their combat strength was very strong. Some of them were even stronger than Qin Xiong. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, how could he be a match for so many experts? Crazy. What? You want to challenge so many of us? Even Huajie was stunned for a moment before he reacted. He was overjoyed and hurriedly shouted, All right, this is what you said. Don't go back on your words. At the same time, he was laughing in his heart. He was laughing at Lu Ming for courting death. On the battle platform, the middle-aged elder was a little stunned. This was the first time he had seen such a scene during a test. For a moment, he didn't know whether to agree or not. At this moment, a voice transmission was transmitted to his ears, asking him to agree. It was from an elder above the clouds. They also wanted to take this opportunity to observe Lu Ming. All right, this battle can be carried out. The middle-aged elder announced. Go. Huajie hurriedly waved his hand. Over 10 young men beside him rushed up the battle platform. Brat, do you think you can be so arrogant after defeating Qin Xiong? How naive. You actually challenged so many of us at once. You're simply courting death. If I don't beat him up, my surname isn't Wang. These young men stared at Lu Ming with hostility and sneered. Lu Ming actually challenged so many of them at once. It It was obvious that he was looking down on them. This was an insult. They wanted to make Lu Ming regret it. Cut the crap. If you want to fight, do it quickly. If not, scram. Lu Ming berated. Damn it, you're courting death. Kill him. Over 10 young men let out angry roars and emitted powerful auras. Boom. 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 Blood-red light flashed as the bloodlines of more than a dozen youths burst out at the same time. The terrifying attack was like a never-ending wave that surged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming was instantly drowned out by the multicolored brilliance. Everyone stared with wide eyes. Lu Ming was so arrogant. They wanted to see how Lu Ming would fight with more than 10 young geniuses. At this moment, Lu Ming made his move. Just like before, Zhang Xian didn't even need to use a weapon. Instead, a spear materialized in his hand. Whoosh. The long spear swept out in a very direct and violent manner. A full moon appeared on the battle platform. Bang. Bang. A loud explosion could be heard as the attacks launched by the young men were shattered instantly. A terrifying spear glow swept across the surroundings. More than a dozen screams rang out as more than a dozen figures were sent flying off the stage, coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. The air seemed to have frozen at this moment. Everyone stared blankly at the scene. One move, just one move, and all the young geniuses brought by Wuxia were defeated. It was so easy as if he was swatting a dozen flies. What a waste of time. Lu Ming curled his lips and said. Everyone was speechless and roared in their hearts. What do you mean by a waste of time? You're too abnormal. Even if you want to defeat someone, you shouldn't do it like that. Wuxia's body trembled. His face was pale and his lips were trembling. He pointed at Lu Ming and said, You. He stuttered for a long time but couldn't say a word. Strong, too strong. Brother Tianyun is too strong. Ming Peak kept muttering, his face full of excitement. By the side, Ming Zhu's beautiful eyes flashed with splendor. Lu Ming's strength was completely beyond her expectations. Phew. Phew. Above the clouds, several old men let out a long sigh, their eyes flickering with uncertainty. How is it? Can you tell where they came from? One of the old men asked. I can't tell. It was just one move and most of them were defeated with absolute strength. Very little information was exposed. What's more, he probably used his own personal martial arts technique. There's no trace of the 5 biggest sections. Another old man said. This is difficult. Is such a peerless genius from the 5 great sects or not? Pay attention. We must pay attention to him. If he's from the 5 biggest sects, he just wants to cultivate in the sacred ground and won't stay for long. If he's not, we must rope him in. The old men discussed quickly. Elder, is my test over? Lu Ming asked the middle-aged man. Yes, it's over. The middle-aged man stammered. Lu Ming nodded and jumped down from the fighting ring. Wuxia glared at Lu Ming with resentment. He left with more than 10 young men who were staggering. They were in a sorry state. Wuxia came with a high profile and left with a face full of dust. He would become a laughingstock once again. Lu Ming smiled faintly. As long as the older generation did not appear, he did not care about a foppish young master like Wuxia. Then the test continued. However, no one who stood out appeared. Soon all the tests were over. The middle-aged man marked each new student's identity jade token. Haha, I can finally cultivate in the 7 sacred grounds? Ming Peak laughed. Ming Peak, are the 7 sacred grounds really that good? Lu Ming asked curiously. Good, of course it's good. Brother Tianyun, do you know why the 5 biggest sects disciples sneaked in? They want to cultivate in the 7 sacred grounds of the Hall of General. Ming Peak said with glowing eyes. Brother Tian, the 7 sacred grounds of the Hall of General are the most important places for the imperial family. It is said that the omnidirectional sword sect covets it, but the imperial family has a tight grip on it. It can be said that the 7 sacred grounds are the foundation of the imperial family and they will not give it to others. Pearl explained. Yes, Brother Tianyun, you defeated the older students this time. Apart from the Earth Essence Cave, you can choose any of the other 6 sacred grounds and cultivate for free for a year. I'm so envious. Ming Peak exclaimed. I wonder what the 7 great cultivation sanctuaries are? Lu Ming asked. Let me tell you. Ming Feng immediately rushed to say, the 7 great cultivation holy grounds are respectively the Earth Essence Cave, Gingjin Valley, Divine Wind Valley, Unending Tower, 10,000 Kills Secret Realm, Fog Swamp, and Lightning Light Hall. Among them, the most mysterious one is the Earth Essence Cave. The Earth Essence Cave contains rich fire spiritual chi that can condense true chi. In the Earth Essence Cave, whether it is to raise one's cultivation or to cultivate fire attribute martial skills, it will be twice the result with half the effort. The Gingjin Valley contains rich Gingjin Qi and is the best place to cultivate metal attribute martial skills and martial skills. The Divine Wind Valley is filled with gales and hurricanes and is the best place to cultivate wind attribute martial skills. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.